The Sesh Podcast, episode 214, take 1. Hello out there to all our Galentines and Palentines. We are so happy to have you here today. We love you so much, and happy Valentine's Day ahead of time.
Yes.
It falls on a Friday this year.
Yeah.
So this goes up on Wednesday, so it's right around the corner.
That's right.
And we just want to let you know that you are loved, especially by us. Thank you for being here, guys.
Love is in the air.
Love is
Not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Unusual to be loved by anyone.
Well, everyone, how y'all doing? I asked last week, and obviously we're still about the same. It seemed like a lot of you guys were feeling the same way, but thank you for sharing all of your uplifting content recommendations. And yeah, I'm glad that we can be a distraction for you guys in this time. I think it's important to have distractions without getting distracted entirely. So we are here to do that today. And still here. I'm Kendall.
Here, baby. We'll always be here. I'm Janelle. We're joined by Karelly and Sydney. Hey, girly pop.
Hi. Hi, Galentines.
Galentines.
It's becoming such a big thing to do, like a Galentine's Day party and stuff.
Actually,
I see it all over the place.
While this episode goes live.
Oh, yeah. We'll be
having our Galentine's party.
Yes, we're having a company Galentine's party.
With all the girly pops.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be making charm bracelets. I'm really excited. It's going to be so
very
fun.
Cute.
Yeah, Sydney's putting it together.
It's going to be very fun. Chocolate-covered strawberries.
The best.
Yes.
Oh.
Costco has the best chocolate-covered strawberries.
Oh, they sell just
which, by the way, I stan Costco.
Of course.
Even
Costco,
more than they already have.
They've always been bitch, though.
They've always been that bitch, and they will always be that bitch.
Their pizza is some of the best.
It's so good.
Yeah,
hot dog.
Support your local Costco.
Yes.
Oh, what was I going to say? Speaking of frozen, Sydney and I were checking out did you like it last night? I was the one going ham on it. True Fru. Have you ever had True Fru?
Those are great.
Oh, those are good.
You don't like them? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good.
Did you get them from Costco?
No. Our nanny just got them for the house, and I discovered them last night. I was like, oh my God.
You had never had them? Which one did you have?
Raspberry.
Oh, yeah, that one's good. The strawberry one's good. The banana one's good.
I really love raspberries.
Are they freeze-dried fruit and then covered in strawberries, or are they just frozen?
They're just frozen.
Covered in chocolate.
That's what
And I think the raspberry has like a white chocolate.
Yeah, they do.
Too. Oh my God, it was good.
Yeah, they're addicting.
Have you guys seen the Fruit Riot?
Yeah, those are delicious. I've had those.
You've had them?
Fruit Riot?
Where do you find them?
Safeway. They're like sour candied coated fruit in the freezer section.
Yeah, I've had the grape one. Josh bought it. I wasn't super wild
The
about
mango
it.
one, well, you don't like mango. The pineapple one's really good. The mango one's really good.
I've been wanting to try
The grape
it.
one's good.
Yeah,
they're fun.
It was just really cold. It kind of hurt my teeth. But maybe if I let them sit out for a couple minutes.
They're sour.
I do love some sour.
You like the feeling of your back of your mouth hurting?
A little bit, yeah. If I even say the word sour though, I start salivating.
I can feel that tingling, in the back of your mouth.
Yeah, sometimes you need a good tingle in the mouth.
True that.
Well, anyway, guys, it's Monday morning for us, and the Super Bowl was last night, and it was great. I really enjoyed it.
What'd you guys think?
Fuck the Chiefs. That's what I have to say about that.
Go Birds.
Honestly,
I don't really care that much, but I just I don't know. I wanted to see the Eagles win because I really like Jalen Hurt. And then Hurts, is it? I'm new to
Isn't
him.
it Hurts?
Jalen,
I thought
it was
multiple.
Hurt. Is he Hurts or is he just hurt once?
Look.
It's Hurts.
Okay, I like Jalen Hurts.
He is a sexy man.
He's sexy.
He's so sexy.
And I just love that he has an all-female management team. That's so cool.
So badass.
Yeah, so I was rooting for him. And I don't know, it's I didn't want to see the Chiefs win again.
Yeah, fuck that.
Not really a big fan
Patrick
of
Mahomes, not a fan. Not a fan of his wife.
Yeah, she was so annoying in that quarterback documentary. They're both pretty annoying.
And I'm sick of them winning.
To the Chiefers out there.
I'm not a fan of the Eagles either, but today I am.
I feel kind of bad talking shit about the Chiefs though, because my grandpa was a huge Chiefs fan, and so is my aunt, and yeah, but
they'll be okay.
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
I really didn't care too much either way. I was there for the halftime show. I was there for the Kendrick concert, and he delivered on every angle. It was so good. I watched it 3 times last night.
It was really good.
And it was just awesome. There was so much symbolism in there, so many hidden messages. I mean, they don't even feel like they were hidden. It was pretty fucking obvious as soon as he started. And he did it all right in front of Dump, and it just made me so happy. I loved it. It was great. I wonder if he even made it that far, because did you hear he left early?
Who?
Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Chiefs started losing.
He left?
Yeah, that's what I read at least. Which is really annoying because it's so expensive to have secured the place and get him out there and stuff just for him to fucking leave.
Oh, really?
He got booed. That was fun. Taylor Swift also got booed, which that was like, I don't get why. It's like,
oh, I saw that clip. She looked very confused.
yeah, I'd be confused too. It's like so fucking mean. What does she have to do with anything?
Yeah, I don't know.
What did they
Why
announce
she
her?
got-
They just had her on the Jumbotron and like people started booing.
Wait, did you say he sang All Right?
Hmm?
Did you say Kendrick sung All Right?
What?
The song?
His song, All Right? You said he did All Right in front of Dump.
No, I said he did it all right in front of Dump.
I was like, no, that's one of his songs he didn't sing.
No, he didn't do
Yes.
that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If Dump left, maybe he didn't even see it.
Yeah, he probably, I don't know.
Dump ass.
Yeah, well, it was great. And then Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. That was so awesome. Yeah, it was just great. SZA, as always, she is just one of the hottest humans to ever exist.
Oh my gosh, she's so hot.
God, she looked so good out there. And then they brought Serena Williams. She's just so fucking cool.
It was a great performance.
Imagine flexing on your ex like that in that setting.
100%.
Just there would be nothing better.
Nope.
The ultimate revenge.
Yep. I loved his little A necklace he was wearing.
Yeah.
What was that? Is that what that was for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Dump left before the 4th quarter. So he saw Kendrick, supposedly.
Good. I'm glad he saw that.
I hate him. But sorry.
Shocking.
Sorry. I just have to say that like every hour. But yeah, overall, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great.
Kind of like a boring game since they just like pummeled the Chiefs.
Yeah, which was crazy to watch, honestly.
Yeah. I stopped watching after halftime. I was like, I'm here for this. And then after that, I started watching Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Well,
I normally enjoy watching the commercials, or at least I used to years ago. I guess I haven't really paid attention to them, but it used to be so fun to watch them.
Yeah.
They were so good. Now it's just like, it's not even really a conversation. I mean, the only thing that is even being talked about that I'm seeing, which I didn't see it during the show, but Kanye, which I don't think there's anything else to say about Kanye other than just fuck Kanye West all day,
let me
forever.
Clearly make that known.
He is such a vile human being. So basically, if you didn't see it, he bought out an ad slot where it's like him. I didn't listen to it. I just saw a clip of it this morning. But he's like holding his phone. It looks like he was at the fucking dentist or something. And he's promoting his website, which if you go to his website now, it's just one shirt on Yeezus. And is it Yeezus? Yeezy? I don't give fucking cares. But it's just a swastika shirt. And I'm like, I feel like Fox needs to be held accountable for allowing that shit to run on national television.
Well,
I mean, is this really where we're at?
They made $8 million for a 30-second ad.
Okay, I don't give a fuck how much you fucking made. You straight up just promoted anti-Semitism from Kanye West, who is like the absolute worst of them all at this point.
A vile human.
And I'm not going to, we were like, should we talk about his
What is there
Twitter?
to say
There's
other than
nothing.
fuck him?
Yeah.
I hate him.
And fuck Elon Musk, too, for allowing him to still be on the platform
Which,
after
by the
that
way,
tirade.
his account's deactivated.
Oh, did they deactivate it?
Yeah, but they don't know if he bailed himself or if he got kicked off.
Well, he thanked Elon. He was like, thanks for letting me rant on here.
Yeah,
now
and he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So,
But
he
the
fits
account's
in
gone
nicely
now.
with them all.
For whatever reason. So, yeah, he can suck it. There were a few good commercials, though, like the Nike one, all about women.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a great commercial.
I like the
There were a few that I thought were pretty good. But yeah, I can't believe how expensive it is to run a commercial. It's insane.
Yeah.
$8 million for like 30 seconds, I think.
Yep, $8 million for 30.
Holy moly.
It's wild.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I'm wondering who's going to perform next at the Super Bowl. On to the next one.
Yeah, who will it be? I was thinking about that last night too. Who would you like to see
Greta Van Fleet.
That would be good.
I don't know who that is.
Do you know Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be really good at the Super Bowl. They're
It's a band?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, they're excellent.
Ooh,
And,
check them out.
Really good.
I think
Oh,
they
I
would
didn't know
do
that.
really good at the Super Bowl. But I don't know.
Are they like Super Bowl type style perform? I feel like there's like a certain type of Super Bowl
they're
performer.
I think they would do good at performing.
Can't believe I've never heard of them. Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised you haven't either. They're pretty popular.
I bet there's like a song or something that I would
Probably.
know.
They sound
Sing one.
They sound a lot like Led Zeppelin actually.
Okay.
But they're they're young and whatever, but I'd also like to see Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I was just
I'd
going to
be
say
really into that.
You read my mind. That'd be my number one pick.
I would like to see who else? Trying to think. Doshi?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Her and Doshi.
Actually, I could see
Megan and
Sabrina Carpenter doing it soon.
I
or
could too. I think
Chapel.
she's still like a little early in her career to do that.
I bet
but-
in the next 5 years, either her or Chapel will do it.
Yeah, I could see that one day. Yeah.
So
I'd love to see Billie. I think that'd be awesome.
that would be really cool.
Mhm. And she has such a wide range. They'd
Yes.
be able to do a real like compilation type situation. But I guess a lot of her music too, well, depends. Oh, it would be awesome to see Happier Than Ever at the Super Bowl.
I've never heard of that.
Yes, you have. Happier Than Ever?
No. What are they
It's
saying?
Billie's
Oh,
song.
sorry. Oh, yeah, that song. Yeah, okay, that would be
go hard
good.
at
Sorry.
the Super Bowl.
I'm an idiot. And
Yeah.
didn't know what you were talking
It's
about.
like-
But that is
it would
a
have
great
to be
song.
like super song selection because
Yes.
you need like real hype.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of Billie songs aren't really
Aren't
super
really
hypey,
yeah,
but
that's
you know,
what I'm saying. Yeah, not
Yeah.
super high energy, but that's a good one.
yeah. I still think my favorite Super Bowl ever was Dr. Dre, Eminem. I mean, who else was out there? It feels like so long ago now, but I think that was just awesome. I loved the collaboration thing, like a group of people was really cool.
Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige.
Snoop Dogg, though, I don't know about him now.
Justin Bieber,
Sadly.
maybe.
Biebs was there.
I
Oh,
can
no.
get down with the
Biebs
Biebs.
hasn't done it yet.
I know, but I think I would like that.
Biebs and Usher together. That could be good.
Usher did it last year.
Oh,
yeah,
he did do it last
Usher,
year.
Oh, yeah,
maybe?
with Alicia.
Who would you guys like to see at the Super Bowl at the halftime?
Yeah, let us know. It's crazy. They only perform for like a little over 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think Hendrix was 13
Mhm.
something.
It still seemed like a lot. Like, I don't know, it was blowing my mind. Like, just imagine like singing for like that long. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
dancing and like all the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Usually their concerts are like an hour.
No, I know. I'm just like, even like watching last night was like the amount of work that had to have gone into that.
I know.
was, like,
Especially people that do like Vegas residencies where they're doing these
Every
crazy
single
shows.
night,
I cannot
basically.
imagine. I would never be able to do that. God.
you can't talk all day to save
no.
your voice.
Yep.
So one of my favorite foods in the entire world are breads. Any type of bread. A slice of bread, a bagel, a loaf of bread, a Hawaiian bread, a baguette. Truly, I love all types of breads, but you know what's even better than all the breads is breads that are good for you, okay? Breads that are high in fiber, breads that are low in sugar, breads that even have some protein in it. And that is why I'm so excited that Hero Bread is sponsoring today's episode because they have the best products, you guys. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with Hero Bread. Hero Bread products are delicious and so flavorful, but they have ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and are high in fiber. But one thing that I love is that you don't have to sacrifice the taste when it comes to Hero Bread because Hero Bread products taste so delicious. They're fluffy and light and airy. I truly cannot recommend them enough, especially if you're someone who's looking to get some more fiber into your diet. I really, really love them for that reason. And they have so many different products on their website. I've been able to try a handful of them. They have really good tortillas. They have really good like Hawaiian rolls. I tried bagels last week for the first time and it was so good. I truly cannot recommend them enough. And you never know, it's low net carb and high fiber bread from the texture. Get the soft, fluffy experience you love and know with your next savory breakfast sandwich, late night grilled cheese, or family taco Tuesday. So try Hero Bread for yourself. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Hero Bread is offering 10% off of your order. Go to hero.co and use code SESH at checkout. That's SESH at HERO.co.
Well, anyway, guys, we weren't quite sure what we wanted to talk about this week. We thought about there are some updates in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni ongoing bullshit.
When are there not? Every hour there's like
It's like,
something.
yeah. We'll talk about it eventually. We'll catch up. We decide to boot it off our outline for today because we have other things we want to talk about. We're basically going to spend the entire episode talking about this documentary. And when we saw this come out, we were like, oh my gosh, we have to talk about this. And we were just wanted to watch it.
It's right up our alley.
It was really, really interesting on many levels. I thought it was well done, but I have some critiques.
Me too.
This is the true story behind Myka and James Stauffer, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar. This was such a huge story. I mean, I don't think we were even doing the sesh, or we weren't covering stuff like that.
Also, I don't know how, but I didn't know about this when it was happening.
Really?
No, which is like, after learning about this, I was like, this is one of the most insane things that's happened on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
it's fucking insane.
I didn't know about it.
I feel like we've mentioned it at some point in the show. I can't understand why we wouldn't have ever talked about it. I guess the show was just so different when this was going on, or we may not have even been doing the show yet.
Well, it was going on in like 2020. And I think that's when we started the show.
But it was so casual. We weren't really covering big topics and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was just shooting the shit completely. But I'm glad we're finally talking about it now because I followed this pretty consistently when it was happening. Mostly through the Dad Challenge podcast, which I know he can be a controversial person. Say whatever you want about him, but he is on these vlog families' asses. And he goes hard on them. And there's times where I think it crosses the line a little bit. But for the most part, I think he's a good dude, has his heart in the right place, and truly just wants to expose what so many vlog families are still fucking doing. It's pretty mind blowing that after all this time. And I know we've talked about we were in our youth. How old were we? 19, 20. You were still in high school when we were obsessed with
I was
Judy and Benji.
16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
18,
Judy's life.
Maybe.
Yeah. They were the first vlog family I saw. And I was so into I would watch it pretty much every day. Yeah. And I remember, I think we've shared this before, but when they had their, first daughter, Juliana, I still see, it's forever in my brain, even though I haven't watched their vlogs in probably 5 years. Do they still vlog?
Yeah.
Do they? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to watch his cooking videos.
Yeah, I always liked
Benji's cooking videos.
But it's now I see those videos in such a different light. I don't understand why they're still especially with how old they are. These kids have been on camera every day of their life. But when Juliana was born, Janelle and I were literally texting in bed oh my God, I think she's we were that person.
No, we
were those people that were into the vlog families.
Yeah.
And there was this girl in the documentary, which we'll get to this, but she is basically the storyteller of the entire thing.
Her name's Hannah.
And she talks about how she was so into Myka and James, which I had never heard of them until I heard of what they did, which we will explain it for those who don't know. But the series is called An Update on Our Family, which was kind of an interesting title. Is that what they called the video where they dropped the bomb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I almost wonder if they called it that too, to kind of draw in people who are looking for updates on what the fuck happened with them.
If you guys have never heard of this, stick around because it is wild. This is shocking what they ended up unfolding.
Yeah. I feel like most people probably know about it
or have heard about it.
Had you guys heard of it before this?
I think I heard their name, but I really didn't know the full actual story.
And I'd heard about them. I didn't really watch their channel because again, I never really was into family vlogs. Back then I really liked skit comedy, or I was into YouTuber reacts videos and more produced, I guess. I wasn't really a vlog girly.
Yeah, I really only watched it from Dad Challenge. His name is Josh. And I don't know, I don't really watch his show anymore. I don't honestly watch much YouTube shows these days. I don't know. I watch Financial Audit. So I don't know much about him. So because I know people get mad if I say I like someone and there's things about them I don't know. So many people were pissed at me last week because I said I like Trevor Noah. But I had no idea that during the Grammys he made
I had no idea
horribly
either.
Racist jokes about
which is
immigrants and Colombians, and
so disappointing to hear.
When I looked that up, I could not believe that. Yeah. And we explained, we didn't watch the full Grammys, but there were people that were you need to apologize for I think people need to have a little grace. I do not know everything there is to know about every human that has walked the face of this earth.
Yeah.
And it's if it's really going to be like that, do I have to just like fact check every word I say. I can't
Yeah.
just speak freely.
Well, I mean, people who I think watch the show regularly would probably be able to make the conclusion that
Yeah.
like we didn't know this and support him still.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
was
it is
so
terrible.
pissed hearing that from him. God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So many people this year that I've like really liked in the past, and I find out these things, and it's like so upsetting. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely not like endorsing Josh from Dad Challenge. Not that there's anything bad. I just don't know if there is, but whatever. That's all I got to say about that. But let's get into this documentary, you guys. So you can watch this. It's a 3-part series. And we always like to cover some of these documentaries because we hear from a lot of you that some of these topics in these heavier documentaries can be like pretty triggering and upsetting to sit down and watch 3 hours of, but you want to know and like be informed on the topic.
Or
so
you
it's
find
easier.
it interesting to like hear our commentary on it.
Yeah.
Like more of a conversation around it.
It was
on HBO though.
Yep. So let's get into it.
Let's
go over the
in.
whole thing because there's a lot. The Stauffers. Who are they? Where'd they go? What the fuck did they do? So, the Stauffers' Life YouTube channel started in 2016 by Myka and James Stauffer. And while the channel did feature both of them, Myka was definitely the lead creator of the project behind the vlogs, sharing their family's day-to-day life, personal moments, milestones. She was also talking a lot in the early days. It seemed like she was a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So she
did like workout and like diet
weight loss
stuff.
content.
Yeah.
And yeah, they shared a lot of their personal moments, and the channel grew the more babies they had, as that is really the recipe of the family vlog. Have a baby and
content.
It's like, yeah, it's like really a business strategy.
It really is.
That's like one thing the documentary breaks down that was really crazy. I mean, I knew it, but just seeing it all like that. But yeah, they also documented the adoption of their son Huxley in 2017, and that's where things really started to go bad.
So one of the things that the documentary kind of started on was talking about just how family vlogging is such a entertainment source, but it's different from regular like reality TV. Because obviously with reality TV, it's super produced. So I don't think it's very accurate as to what's actually going on. But also, you know, it's typically only like one episode a week or whatever it is. It's only an hour long, that type of thing. But with like family vlogging, most of the time you're getting a video at least like 5 days a week with people, sometimes every single day.
That is so insane.
Imagine filming your life every single day.
I cannot. When Josh and I used to vlog, it was like maybe every week or so, or maybe twice a week if I like really care. But even then it felt like so draining. Like I remember some of the days I would wake up and like, I don't want to fucking film my life today. And like, I don't know how people committed to that grind for years.
But people like ate this up, Kendall and I included.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how people become attached to these rando that they don't know, these people online, their lives, because you really are getting like a firsthand look inside of their actual day-to-day life. And granted, let's say it was a 20-minute vlog. At the end of the day, you're really only seeing 20 minutes of this person's entire day. But still, like you start to, you know, have these like, you feel like you have this parasocial relationship with the family and the kids and their activities.
Details about the kids,
right.
their personalities and what they're into, what issues they're having.
Yep. And before you know it, you feel really connected to people who you've never met.
Yeah.
Who you have no true idea of who they actually, you know, are off
and then
camera.
It's like the old-fashioned YouTuber thing of being like, we love you, which I guess we just started the episode by saying that. But like that has, obviously we're just saying that like in a lighthearted way, but I think in a lot of these vlogs, they're like, I love you guys so much. I love you.
You guys are my family.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
It's a very like, weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no offense to all of you out there. I think you're wonderful. And
we love our audience as a whole.
I love the community, but like,
love the support.
I don't love you guys like I love my family, obviously.
Because we don't know you. And I feel like most people get it with that. But that was like the thing to do with all YouTubers, even people who were just doing like get readies with me and you know, like Ava and like Meredith. Remember that was like so, or Bethany Moda.
Yeah.
That was like the thing to do, was be like, I love you guys so much. I love you guys.
Yeah.
And I think like some people start to like actually feel like they have a relationship.
Or that they're owed certain things, you know. they feel like they're owed updates, they're owed details, or yeah, and before you know it, you really feel like you're kind of a part of this family in a way. And you know, the two of them are really just kind of a regular couple at first, sharing their day-to-day lives, like running groceries and cooking and cleaning and little viral challenges. That was a big thing back in the day. It was like the blah, blah, blah challenge or whatever, you know?
Remember the cinnamon one people would do? That was crazy.
Oh, yes.
Like cinnamon challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Or like the chubby bunny or whatever.
Yep, exactly. And that was kind of their, you know, starting content. But then, yeah, they slowly transitioned into family vlogging. And obviously, when you have a family with children who are in the vlogs, they become a large part of your content.
And a big moneymaker for you.
Yep. Especially with, they were talking about like stay-at-home moms. And this was a way for them to kind of get a community of other people who are, you know, like-minded like them or whatever.
Like living a similar life.
Being able to kind of share their tips and tricks as a stay-at-home parent or parenting styles, parenting techniques, whatever it may be. And also at the same time, make some additional money. But still, while still being able to stay at home, work on your own schedule. You know, it sounds like on paper the greatest thing of all, right? You basically get to film yourself doing things that you would already be doing, cleaning, groceries, whatever, doing your kids' activities, whatever it may be, and you're going to be doing that anyway. So it's like, oh, why not film yourself and monetize it?
But it comes with a big price, and I think when a lot of people got into it, they didn't realize, like what the internet would become. And then I don't think people had an understanding of what you're actually doing to your children.
Right.
I mean, just completely exploiting them. And one thing that I've really enjoyed seeing is this switch in that community where I've seen a lot of people who either were doing the family vlogging thing at one point or have just started more recently, and they've done content that other stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home parents, other people can relate to without including their children at all, but still like documenting the motherhood struggle. And there's more people that are doing it in authentic ways now and not like trying to make it look like this perfect lifestyle I live and here's how I am super mom, you know, it's more like relatable and real. There's one person in particular I really like. Her name is Annalie. She actually lives in Colorado. Just going to give her a quick little shout out because I think she's doing it really well. And she never shares her kids, but I just really like her content as a mom.
Is she on TikTok?
Probably.
Oh, you watch her on YouTube?
I follow her. No, I follow her on Instagram. I don't know if she even has YouTube. Annalie15. Annalie Grace is her name. But yeah, there's like a lot of people who've like reimagined the traditional old school family vlog and removed their kids from it. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people who didn't realize what they were doing. I mean, there was a time even when I wanted to family vlog one day.
Same.
Like I thought Judy and Benji were so cool and like what they were doing. And I was like so into that. And I didn't, you know, I was so young too. I didn't understand. Now as a parent, I see it so differently. And just seeing the effects that it's had on so many. But back then I was like, that is the dream. I would love to do that. Like it was fully my plan to do that one day. Before I knew. And so I think a lot of people have made the switch and are doing it right now, but there's more people who are still doing it wrong, exploiting their children every day, showing them in vulnerable positions, sharing tons of just their privacy, you know, and it's horrible. And there's no regulation on it whatsoever.
Nope.
So,
very little, basically.
Yeah, I think the more conversations we have about it, the better, because gotta stay on these people's asses. It's really bad. There's some really bad ones out there. Actually, in the documentary, there's a couple as well that we'll get to.
Yeah.
Interesting, because a lot of family vloggers, which this is what Myka did, but instead of having her kids go to school, at school, she like homeschooled them, so there could be more content because she like recorded them a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you go
interesting.
If you're doing homeschool, you only have to do a couple hours here and there, and then you can.
Your kids are there for content.
Then your kids are there for the content.
God, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that. Yeah, it's probably strategic for a lot of them.
It sucks because I bet for a lot of kids too, like going to school is an escape for
Totally.
for
Yeah,
them. You know what I mean?
get away from the camera for a few hours.
Seriously.
God damn, can you imagine growing up with that?
No.
Like picture your parents, your childhood, but with cameras there every day.
All the time.
And
you're on,
horrible.
and like randos are watching you.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so fucking scary.
And like by the time you even are old enough to realize what's going on, you've been on camera for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people who film their kids when they were before they were even born.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on camera before you are even born.
Yeah. That's like how it is for Judy and Benji. And I don't mean to like keep bringing them up. It's just the only one I have like familiarity with.
I disagree with a lot of things they do, obviously, but I will say I think they're one of the lesser of the salacious. From what I kind of remember, they seem to be more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like they've done it like they never like exposed, as far as I know. Nothing that I saw that was like exposing them in a
negative,
like a vulnerable situation or during a tantrum or like shared personal details about their health or anything like that. But at the same time, it's disappointing to me, and I had to like disengage from their content because I feel like now they should know better with all of this information that's come out, these studies, and I think, you know, the kids are still on camera all the time.
Yep.
And I just, especially at their ages, really any age, I just have such a problem with that I don't know. I don't fuck with the family vlogging at all anymore.
So Myka started vlogging back in 2012, and at the time she went by Myka Belisari. And she, at the time, was a single mom and a nurse sharing her day-to-day life. And she also did a lot of weight loss content, like we had mentioned. But she actually grew up in a pretty strict household. And one thing that she talked about was that it was so strict that when her mom found out that she lost her virginity as a teenager, she ended up grounding her for an entire year.
That's so crazy.
Right. Yeah. But instead of just seeing it as a punishment, Myka actually used the time to reflect and figure out who she was at a young age. So fast forward here a little bit, she goes to college and she has her first daughter, and the two of them only stayed together for a couple years. But then she left
the father of the child.
And so she was living her life as a single mom, and then she decided to try and do some online dating. She used OkCupid, which I have heard of before, and that's how she met James. So by the time she met James, she already had, one of her one daughter. And then so the two of them started dating, and they moved in together about a year into dating, and then found out that they were pregnant with their first child together. So she talks about how she wanted to do this the right way, and so they got engaged. And then got married in July of 2014.
Yeah, and big note there. That's her version of the right way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, obviously I don't actually think that. But yeah, according to her, that was the right way for at least her family. So,
and yeah, at first the focus of the content really wasn't about the kids at all. It was more about them cleaning, doing the pregnancy journey, things like that. And their videos only would get a couple 100,000 views, which is still like a lot. They were still like making money and everything.
And I have such a complicated opinion on the whole like vlogging pregnancy, because I think that can bring a lot of comfort to other people, who are going through this for the first time or whatever it may be, and being able to see someone else document their experience, I think could be really helpful for people. I find it hard because it's like, well, then a lot of people just don't know when to stop. You know what I mean?
Stop getting pregnant?
No. Stop. Like once the baby's born, it's just like, okay, well, we're done. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with documenting your pregnancy
itself.
I did a couple vlogs when I was pregnant, and it was like not only helpful for me, but it was, really just I did it for myself because I wanted to like relate to other people and like document it for myself. And I don't think I would do that again. I'm just kind of over vlogging altogether. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. But
it's when the child is born.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying and it's hard because I think a lot of people and I think I'm talking more so about people who are really into like the daily vlogging of everything. Because then if you're continuing to do that and that's your main source of income, how do you continue on doing that once the baby's born without showing anything about the kid?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Which there's people that are doing it. Like I know there's a couple vlog. I can't think of people off the top of my head, but I've seen people who have
like documented their pregnancy and then continued to document life as a mom, but they just never show the baby, at least not their face. So it can be done.
Yeah, sure, it can be done.
But it's probably not as lucrative.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people watch because they feel that connection. And how are you going to get that if you don't get to see any of
And
the
it's like,
kid?
do you want people, random strangers, to have a connection with your child? To know them deeper than like a photo? You know, it's just so crazy.
Especially once they're
Old
several
enough?
years old.
Yeah.
And they have more of like a personality and opinions, and they're not just like a little baby. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, like we said, for a while it was just kind of cleaning videos and stuff, and then she started documenting her pregnancy, and then James actually ended up starting his own channel, and this is the one channel that is still going today. It's called Stauffer's Garage, where he does like deep cleaning videos of cars, and that really has no content of the kids on it, at least as of recent.
Does he show his face in these car cleaning videos, or is it just?
I think
probably be a wise business move to not put your face
I
in
think
them.
he does.
Really? God, that's so wild. I can't imagine going through what they did and then wanting to come back.
Yeah,
How many
he's
subscribers? 1.3
shows himself.
mil. Damn, quite a bit. And he just cleans the cars?
Yeah.
I mean, these cars are like
They're
completely
disgusting.
trashed inside.
It's like ASMR.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like shout out to the people who watch rug cleaning videos.
I
love a
like
good
watching
rug
car
clean.
cleaning stuff too.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, anyways, he started that, and that kind of took off as its own thing, and you know, we started becoming successful. But eventually, she moved away from her nursing gig to put all of her time into YouTube because it was starting to really take off, and content is king at the end of the day.
Yep.
The more you put out, the more you get in return, as far as financial views, everything. At this point, it's like when you start to see your channel gaining success, you can't help yourself but to start becoming like very obsessed with the analytics to some degree.
Like,
I feel
what is what's working here?
I know that you had talked about a while ago when your channel was really starting to grow, that you were like really into the analytics and like the subscriber count, the numbers, and how do you feed the machine.
It was so unhealthy.
But to some degree, like you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I was trying to turn it into my career,
right?
So I like had to care about it.
And even now, I'm looking at the analytics. What does well? What doesn't do well? What do people want to see? That's just the nature of the game. That's how you do it with any business, anything that people are running. You're looking at the data to see what's working, what's not.
But damn, it can be really bad for your mental health. I've had to like pretty much completely remove myself from looking at anything like that.
Yeah.
I try not to think about it, but yeah, because you can get really obsessed with it. And I think she definitely did. And then obviously she's seeing that whenever she gets pregnant, big spike in views, big spike in subscribers, that this is what works. Having babies works. And like that's always been the recipe, right? Like people are just fascinated by
Always.
I mean, I'm definitely one of those people. I like grew up just being obsessed watching TLC's A Baby Story. That was like my life. I still love watching. Actually, ever since I gave birth, I don't watch that anymore because now I just feel triggered. But for most of my life, I really enjoyed that. And that's what I loved about the vlog channels too, is like seeing it's interesting, you know?
Well, it's anything that's like a big life change does well on YouTube.
Yeah. And I think it's like, obviously it's mostly women viewing these. And, you know, I think if you're someone who can have babies, that's like something you want to do one day, it's even more interesting because it's like, oh, is this going to be me? What is my experience going to be like? It's such an unknown and so different for everybody that I think, you know, there's that interest as well. And this was interesting to me too, because obviously we didn't watch any of the Stauffers. I've never actually watched a single video of theirs.
No, neither had I. And they're pretty much scrubbed now. Yeah,
but she, like, as soon as she found out that she was pregnant, she would tell people on the vlog like that week. And I think there's a discussion to be had there because I am fully on board with people announcing their pregnancy at any point that they want to. I didn't tell anyone, like, I told friends like immediately. Like, you guys all knew when I was pregnant, like very early on. And like traditionally it's like, oh no, you wait till it's safe so that if you lose the baby, that you like spare everyone else from the trauma that you can suffer alone. So I like fucking hate that. I understand why they did, but I don't understand like announcing it that early to the masses. I just, to me, when you're a vlog channel and it's like you're uploading as soon as you pee on that stick and get a positive result, that is a business decision. You know, like it'd be one thing, because like remember when I had my miscarriage, I talked about it on the show, but I hadn't announced it publicly beyond you guys.
Yeah. And
like I think there's nothing wrong with speaking about your experience with a miscarriage. It's so helpful to yourself, so helpful to others. But to me, it felt so icky that as soon as she finds out she's pregnant, she announces it to the entire world because she can put that in the title, put the stick in the title, and there you go. You know, off to the races. And then she's like sharing about her miscarriage, which again is fine. I fully support that. I just think that was with disingenuous intentions behind it.
It just seems like the first thought that these people are having is, how do I need to make content out of this?
Yeah.
This will be great for content.
Like, you know, there are vlog families out there, and maybe even these people who have discussions of like, do we want another kid? Well, it would really help our business. You know, like it would, things have like lulled a little bit. Let's pop out another one.
Which
like,
is
you know, that people are having those conversations.
Yes, no doubt.
Well, this is kind of like that in this story because, you know, she had her own kids and then it's like, well, what's next?
Yeah. Yep. How can we take it up a level? That's how it seemed.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's like, how do you separate your life? I think that's like, even for their own mental health, like how do you separate your actual life from, instead of it being a business decision?
You can't.
Well, that's like
the two of them are a mesh.
That's so dangerous too.
Right.
I think like anyone out there who's considering putting your whole life out there, even if it doesn't involve kids, like really think about making your life your business model. I cannot imagine my personal decisions with Josh and our family planning being something that we have to talk about here at work. Like, can you imagine that?
No, but there's literally, it has to. Otherwise, the alternative is what?
Mm-hmm.
You do something else for your job.
And
because people are watching. You grew this audience because people are watching for your personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you decide you don't want to do that anymore, then you're going to have to find another job.
Yeah. And like every decision you make as far as like where you travel or what you do or what purchases you make, you have to think, how is that going to be perceived by our vlog audience? Like, imagine having zero privacy like that. And yes, you can try to control it to some degree, like these people fucking did.
Yeah.
But like, you can only hide so much. People figure out everything. Being on the internet is a wild thing to commit to, let alone making it about your personal life.
Yeah.
I agree. And she did just that.
Yes, she did. So after she had the miscarriage, she started uploading a lot more, and their subscriber accounts skyrocketed. And by 2015, they were officially a family channel.
Mm-hmm.
Their kids were homeschooled, like we said, and they were basically able to film anytime that they wanted to. And she did make a lot of content around homeschooling the kids.
Which is another, I think, strategic move because, I mean, it is pretty rare to have your kids homeschooled. I think it's becoming kind of more of a popular thing now.
Mm-hmm.
But back in, for the last several decades, there wasn't a lot of homeschooling going on.
Mm-mm.
And I think people found that fascinating who, had no experience in homeschooling or didn't know anyone who was going through that. So that's just another thing of like how we homeschool our kids. What does the homeschool room look like or whatever? You know what I mean? It's just another like interesting facet to get views.
Yeah, totally. Which it's like on the other hand of that, it could be a really useful tool for people. And I'm sure there are channels out there that are talking about how they homeschool without including the kids in it every day, because there are a lot of people, and I don't blame people for,
neither do I.
I've even thought about it because I just am like terrified of sending my child to school. But
yeah,
that's another conversation. Parents out there, you know how hard it can be to make sure that your children are getting all of their nutritional gaps filled through their diets. I mean, we are dealing with picky eaters. Oftentimes they don't want to have their veggies or even their fruits. And yes, there's tons of children's vitamins on the market, but a lot of them are basically candy in disguise. Many of them are filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, and other gummy additives that growing kids should never eat. That's why Hiya created a super-powered chewable vitamin. And while many children's vitamins are filled with 5 grams of sugar, which is known to contribute to a variety of health issues, Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy additives. Yet it tastes great and it's perfect for picky eaters, and I can speak from experience. Holly loves taking her Hiya every day, and she also loves that it came with a bunch of stickers and a cute little yellow bottle, and so she was able to decorate her bottle, which just makes taking her vitamin even more fun. It's formulated with the help of pediatricians and nutritional experts. It's pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies, then supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others to help support the immune system, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, and more. It's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free, and everything else you can imagine. Hiya is designed for kids 2 and up and sent straight to your door so parents can have one less thing to worry about. And every single batch is third-party tested for heavy metals and microbiomes in a qualified GMP-compliant lab using scientifically validated testing methods, so you know their product is safe and nutritious. And are you tired of battling your kids to eat their greens? Hiya now has Kids Daily Plus Superfoods, a chocolate-flavored greens powder designed specifically for kids, packed with 55 whole food ingredients to support brain power, development, digestion, and it's easy. You just scoop, shake, and sip with milk or any non-dairy beverage for a delicious, nutritious boost for your kids that they're actually going to enjoy. And we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/sesh. This deal is not available on their regular website. Just go to hiyahealth.com/sesh to get your kids the full body nourishment that they need to grow into healthy adults. So in early 2016, Myka had really figured out how to tap into that family channel algorithm. For example, they started sharing every major family milestone from their move back to Ohio to the birth of their 3rd child, all which helped, bump them to the next level. Every big thing that you can milk, right? And we've seen the recipe with other creators. What's coming to mind is, who are they? The fucking Ace family. When they would remember the kid got bit by the dog and they put him in the thumbnail, and then Jordan Cheyenne. I mean, everyone knows all of that. So yeah, they figured out the recipe and figured out that these big events or shocking events, just like with a reality TV show, their audience, of course, drew in brands eventually. And that opened the door to paid sponsorships and collaborations. And at their peak, they had about 700,000 subscribers, which is pretty hefty for a vlog channel.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And her first brand partnership was with Fabletics. Is their stuff good?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
I've heard really good things about them.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
I've heard too.
I've never
But
tried
it's like
them,
isn't it like a
Yeah.
subscription type thing? I don't like anything like that.
It's
Yeah.
it's like
It's Kate Hudson's.
Yeah,
right?
is
It's
it
like a
the
monthly-
same as Rihanna's
Savage X Fenty.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the same thing as that.
I hate that company.
Really?
Yeah. I love Rihanna. But yeah, they have that same model. I don't fucking like that. I ended up with a bunch of credits, and then
Yeah.
I tried to skip months and it wouldn't skip, and then all of their, I just gotta say too, their lingerie and bras and shit sucked. It was,
Oh, really?
So bad, yeah.
Damn.
But I love Fenty Beauty, so no hate.
But they talked about how traditional, marketing is so vastly different than influencer marketing. And obviously that still plays a huge part in today's world. But if you think about traditional marketing and the amount of money and resources it takes to put out one ad,
Especially on a Super Bowl.
especially on a Super Bowl, but you have to have the photo shoots, the rental space, the
Yeah.
crew, everything that it takes to put together one ad versus an influencer ad, which I think this is great. I mean, obviously, we have ads on this show, but it's easier for the brand. It's cheaper for the brand.
A little more risky for the brand.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a little-
overall the pros outweigh the
But
cons.
yeah, I would say the pros outweigh the cons. And someone's able to make it more realistic. They're just in their bedroom trying on the clothes, doing a haul. And when you already feel like you have this personal connection with the creator that you're watching, you're more likely to buy it than just random Joe Blow on the TV. you know, if they're telling you it's great and you already have this connection, you trust this creator.
Yeah.
Then
It's very valuable.
Right. Exactly. It's a smart move by the brands for sure. But anyways, the pressure was on for the two of them to pump out content, pumping out content. And YouTube's algorithm, which is still true to this day, is like content is king. This thing is like a machine.
Yes, it literally
You
is.
have to feed it in order for it to continue to grow your channel. And like consistency is the key, really.
Yeah.
Of like the more that you upload, the more the algorithm will
Works
favor
with
you.
Yes. And if you take a break,
They don't
you
like
get
that.
screwed, which really annoys me because YouTube's always blabbing about like, oh, creator burnout, blah, blah, blah. Then they do nothing to help creators not hit burnout.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, the channel's doing well, things are growing, but you need more to really take yourself to the next level, right? And so that's exactly what they did. They made the decision that they were going to have another baby. Okay. So on May 16th, 2016, Myka and James shared an Instagram post teasing this big secret announcement with the hashtag big announcement, big surprise, baby number 4. And then they put out this video where they revealed that they were going to be adopting a child from China. And people ate this shit up, okay?
People were pumped. Even the Hannah, the one that's in the documentary, she talked about how excited she was for the whole experience. And she was adopted herself from Korea. So she felt like she could, you know, she really thought they were great parents and great people and that this child was going to have a great experience and like kind of heal some of her own issues that she had. And yeah, a lot of people were like really on board with it. And like, again, these people are feeling like they're part of the family. They're like, we're all adopting a baby from China.
Right. And I think it's also whether or not they meant to do this is just what came with it of, I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, this family's so selfless and so giving and they're going to adopt a child in need. And
let's buy their merch.
And let's support them. And
I don't know if they had merch, but
I don't know. But also adoption is, again, something that is just less likely to happen than someone getting pregnant themselves.
Right.
And so it's kind of like the homeschooling aspect of like, ooh,
yeah, this is different.
Like, this is different. This is interesting. I don't know someone who I've been able to watch like through the process adopt someone
and international.
Yeah,
and
the international factor of it. And
he had special. It was known that they wanted to adopt an international kid with special needs.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no proof that they solely did this as a business move.
No.
Right. Yeah.
They really could have wanted to do this out of the kindness of their heart, that this was something they felt drawn to. I know Myka was talking about how like she felt like God was telling her to adopt this child, which I'm like, that doesn't look great now, because why would God have told you that? Did God also tell you to do what you did?
Yeah.
But it's like you can't ignore the fact that most likely, in my opinion, that was a strategic move for the growth of the channel. Now, I can't say that with 100% certainty, but it very much feels that was
or they
part
used
of
it for that. Like, not that they adopted him to get views.
Yes.
I think that they just were like, well, this will be great.
yeah.
I think it turned into that for sure. I think maybe at first, they had the right intentions. Again,
that's the thing is like, it's a big maybe. I'd like to think that was it, but like knowing how these people work in their brains and some of the other interviews that we've seen, I think a big part of it for their reasoning of why they did this, there's probably some genuine want to do this. They obviously wanted kids and maybe I think there was a big part of them where we're like, this is different. This will set us apart. This is going to bring in a ton of viewers. And I genuinely, in my opinion, believe that it was for the most part, strategic.
Side note here on this. You remember Nikki Philippi, the one that fucking killed her dog?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Wait, what happened with that?
She had a dog. The dog snapped at her kid, so they put it down.
Oh, yes. I remember you telling me about, because I had stopped watching her like a long time ago.
I watched her forever ago.
She ended up going like really whack on a bunch of shit.
Oh, she's like gone off the deep end. She's like anti-vax.
we covered her, right?
Yeah.
We
yeah,
probably
I think
talked about
so.
her at some point. Yeah.
But back in the day, decade ago, I actually kind of liked her. This is
I did
before she
too.
had kids. She just seemed like this cool hippie girl from like California that liked to cook.
yeah,
And I just thought that was fun to watch.
and she just seemed really nice
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I used to really like her.
But she's completely gone off the deep end. But anyways, what I was trying to say is I remember years ago, she made an announcement that she wanted to adopt kids. And
Oh,
she
she
actually
did.
started to go through the process, and she documented her step, every single step along the way, which I found really interesting. I was like totally fascinated by the whole thing. But then it didn't end up working out. And you want to know why?
Because she was going to film them.
Because she was going to film them.
This is coming back
And
to me
she
now.
was working with Holt, which is an adoption agency, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But they were like, you can't have your kid on camera. And she was like, well, that's my life. And so I like, it's not going to work out.
That's so fucking nuts to bail on something like that because if you want to just continue filming your life.
And now she has like 2 bio kids of her own.
And that's even worse that was her plan to go ahead and put the child on blast. Like that
yeah, well,
was,
she made the argument of like my whole career, which at this point was not made from having kids. She had no kids. She had a career of like being like a beauty YouTuber and then kind of changed into like cooking and stuff. So I guess to her point, she was like, how am I supposed to continue my work if I can't talk about this large part of my life at all?
was she like mad at like thought it was unfair and mad at the adoption agency and sharing that, or was she more like, unfortunately, I see why they aren't allowing me to do this?
I can't remember very well. I think it was kind of like a mixture of both.
Huh. Was this before or after Myka?
Yeah, that's weird.
That would have been because Myka happened when? In
2017.
But
Like,
Oh, it was 17,
When
Myka?
she adopted the baby.
right, but then 2020, right?
is
Yeah,
when they
okay.
rehomed it.
So
Rehomed. It sounds so crazy, but yeah.
I think it was before that. Yeah.
That's crazy because
Yeah, it was before that. I'm pretty
Myka and James went through Holt
Yeah.
agency.
Wow. I
Yeah.
wonder how they got away with that.
So
yeah, that's what
at
I'm
that-
like
sure.
wondering.
Yeah, I think it depends on the country that you're adopting from.
Well, I think also, I don't even know if like maybe at that time too, because this was like 2017. So maybe they didn't have like those rules or anything yet because
True.
because it used to be called Holt used to be called a different. It used to be Holt bought the agency that Myka used.
Yeah, World Association for Children and Parents, which is now called Holt International. But when I was reading about that, I was like, Holt, why does this sound familiar? Oh, because I remember Nikki Philippi was talking about that. And I think she was trying to adopt kids from Thailand. I don't know, but
God, that makes me wonder. And we don't know. I mean, we could try to look it up. I'm sure it's probably not easy to access this information, but I wonder if that was a thing back then for the Stauffers. What are they?
Stauffers.
Stauffer's originals.
For them. I wonder if they were like, we need to strategically pick where we're going to adopt from.
So let's go ahead and watch that clip from their adoption announcement.
Has been something that we have been.
Oh, also, hold on. I had to adjust the voice, so they're gonna sound way deeper than they
Yeah.
actually are.
Did you also put a black screen on his shirt?
It's his kid. Their kid.
Oh, they're holding a kid?
Yeah.
Oh.
There has been something that we have been hiding for about a month. We've been adopting a little boy from China. We haven't officially formally started the process yet, and we do plan on taking y'all with us.
Kind of like a goat.
And all of the steps along.
It'll be a baby boy.
Oh my God, he sounds
That's one of those
scary.
things when it comes to like gender. Like obviously we would aim for a boy, but if something happened, and you know what I mean.
We'll see.
Yes, we just have to pray about it and just kind of
We have to pray about it.
see what God puts in front of us.
Okay.
Right when we met is a topic that we discussed.
Yeah, we always talk about the possibility.
Sorry.
And for the longest time, Jim it wasn't right in his heart. 2 or 3 months ago, I had brought up the idea, and I didn't expect anything of it. And he told me, he's like, I don't know, I really would love to have another biological. And
Another
the
biological.
next day I brought it up one
really
more
weird to say it
time,
like that.
and he paused. He really waited and paused. And later that day, he said that he was interested in learning more. So obviously,
so
He says I'd be interested in learning more about the
a couple
analytics.
days later, he told me
No,
that
literally,
he's 100%
yeah.
ready.
That's how I
and
really sold him on the idea.
really
Big bucks.
excited and, excited for this journey. And that's really cool because
No, I think that's
it took him
literally
a
like
long
their
time.
conversation.
She's like, look at these
And
viral
so excited
videos
to,
of
like,
adoptions.
open our
Yep,
hearts
yeah,
and see
totally.
what the Lord has in store
'Cause he
for
didn't
us.
want
This is
to.
like a big journey. It's a big adventure. It's, you know, we're very
All
much
right, I'm seeing enough.
Yeah.
We all get it.
That's, yeah. So there they go, off to the races. And they're going to, you know, document every step of the way, which again, I don't have a problem with that. I think that is a wonderful thing. I think it helps raise awareness for adoption. I think it helps educate other people who are interested in adoption.
Mm-hmm. As long as you cut it when the child arrives.
Or at least
Don't show
don't show them.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And like, we'll get into this, but from the second, even before that, from the second that they went and picked up this kid, he was on camera.
Yep. Literally from the moment they saw him.
Yeah.
It was the same time everyone else in the world did.
Yep.
And that's why I think it's more strategic is because he was like really, because that video I think is like 15, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
He was like really, really against adopting.
So they made it seem so like seamless, I guess you could say. They made videos about picking out the names, which they had the name picked out before they even met the child, Huxley. And she said it was modern. It could have a lot of nicknames. And so from the start, she like her documentation really just made it seem like this perfect process, and a perfect addition to their family. And, you know, this was before they had even brought him home. And of course, if you're going to put out the name, people are going to become attached to this. People were already attached to this kid before the kid was even part of the family.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know what's going on.
Thousands of people are already know about him.
Yep. She said that she saw over 400 children's profiles, and it was game over when she landed on Huxley's profile.
I was looking for like these profiles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's so disturbing, I guess, or so like dystopic even. Because it's literally like you're going through like a dog adoption page. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're looking at like a dog shelter. I don't know. It's just a really weird thing that you can just like look at kids' profiles like you're online shopping or you're adopting a dog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see
and like
what you're
I'm
saying.
not comparing a child to an animal whatsoever. It just is like I feel like there should be a better process for this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems strange to be scrolling through like online shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it really shouldn't be part of your decision making of what they look like.
Right.
Or at least like once you get to a point in the adoption, they like send you like
Yeah.
and like here are the kids that we have at shelter
like
or
in
whatnot.
a different setting.
Yeah,
I
but
can
not
see what you
like
mean. The
a-
online thing is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people who have been adopted feel that way as well, Karelly. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in her video, she sounded super confident being able to handle a child with special needs and someone that needed extra medical attention. And she even says that they started meeting with physicians and specialists and were attending meetings to learn about, you know, a variety of different conditions. And I think that's
Great.
great,
Yeah.
obviously,
Mhm.
you know, the fact that they were seemingly at least open to adopting someone with a disability.
here's a quote from her. She says, "So we came to a consensus that these are all conditions that we would be open to." And another time she said, "Let's just say there's 100 conditions. Me and my husband were comfortable with 99 of the conditions. So we were very, very open."
I think is a good thing.
It could have been.
Yeah, could have been. And then on December 14, 2016, they posted their first official adoption journey video. And like we said, the reason that she wanted to adopt was because God called her to do that.
Which is so embarrassing in hindsight.
Yeah.
God told you to do this. Did God also tell you to do what you did next?
Yeah, which if you don't know, it's fucking crazy, you guys. Yeah, exactly. Like
That makes no sense when
That's-
people
if that's
talk that way.
if that's true, that's a very selfish thing for God to do to this poor little kid. Here's a fact that may not surprise you. 66% of men are investing in the stock market compared to just 48% of women. And here's another one that won't surprise you either. Multiple studies have shown that women are better investors than men. Why, you ask? Because men are overconfident and women actually do their research. And if you are looking to start getting into investing, I highly recommend Acorns because they make it so simple to use. I've actually been using Acorns since I was in college, and I truly cannot recommend them enough. Like I said, they're really, really easy. They make investing very simple and not so intimidating. I feel like a lot of people they want to start investing, but they don't really know how to get into it or what the right steps are to take, and Acorns just does everything for you. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. And you don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. And you don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. And getting started with Acorns is so easy. You can start investing in just 5 minutes, and Acorns gives you small, simple steps to get you and your money on track. And what's great is that you don't have to do a lot of the work because Acorns really just takes care of it for you. They do all of the hard parts so that you can give your money a chance to grow. So sign up now and join the over 13 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $22 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/sesh or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/sesh. All right, so then on February 6, 2017, she uploaded a video titled Huxley's Photo Reveal, Adoption Update Part 4, because for a while, she didn't want to share any pictures of him. And then, literally was almost like presenting this picture of him like a gift.
Yeah.
Like the photo reveal, which is so weird.
So
weird.
disgusting. Like how did she not feel at all yucky about it? And I wonder like how many people back then were raising red flags about it. Like, this is weird, or like, were they getting any of those comments?
I'm
or
sure
is that
they were
just
getting
like,
some.
Because now it's like people are just more aware of what problems lie in this whole world. But I wonder if back then, like, how many people were like, this is fucking whack. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, I think I'm sure there were some, but for the most part, I think people were just like super stoked. They were literally like teasing it like a movie trailer, you know?
God, that is so weird.
In another video, she talked about how like the only need that our little boy has is a nice family that really, truly cares about him. But at the same time, it really seemed like she was oversharing every single detail about his adoption, like his medical diagnosis, whether he'd go to like a regular school, if he was developmentally delayed, all these personal decisions that the family would be making, and they're publicizing it to the whole world before they even adopt the kid, which is crazy.
Disgusting.
So, she claimed that she shared Huxley's medical records with their private doctor, who cautioned her and James about the challenges ahead. And in her video, she recalled the doctor, quote, almost discouraging us from adopting him, and saying that this is going to be severe. This is going to be a lot. We don't know what unknown elements could be.
It's just like, it's so fucking annoying too. I mean, once we get to what happened, which I think pretty much everyone knows this story. But for her to have like gotten on there with such a savior complex, be like, the doctor is telling us no, but nothing is going to stop us. Like almost shaming the doctor for trying to give them this heads up that you may not be able to handle this, which is what ends up being the case.
Correct.
The doctor probably had a feeling that like they were not prepared for this.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a very valid thing for a doctor to be like, hey, just want to let you know that this child's going to require
you need
X,
to know
Y,
what you're
and
getting
Z,
into.
And you need to be prepared and willing to make sure that the child gets the care that is necessary.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's going to come of it. He's only 2.
Right. And they're putting it out there in this, he was discouraging us. Like,
But don't worry, all he needs is love. And at one point, she literally says, my child is not returnable.
Mm-hmm. That, I cannot believe she actually filmed that. That is probably the worst of the worst when it comes back to haunt her. Everything that came back.
Real confident.
We can watch that clip.
Yeah,
let's take a look. My child is not returnable.
Mm-hmm.
His diagnosis is neurological, so it was the little brain. We did get some imaging done recently on our son. We got a CT scan done in China.
The music
and
is so
the neurologist
2016.
and the physicians in China, they're very confident in the diagnosis that they gave us. And we were 100% confident, and we were 100% prepared for that diagnosis. We sent off our imaging to our physician that's kind of been on board with Huxley. And then when she got the imaging, her optimism went down significantly. Just went drastic. She kind of almost discouraged us from adopting him, like saying that this is going to be severe, this is going to be a lot, we don't know what unknown elements could be. But for me, more than anything, immediately when she gave me another diagnosis, I looked at the bright side. I was like, that could be awesome. There could be so many good things about that second diagnosis. So when I heard all of the things that the doctor was telling us, It kind of went in one ear and out the other. I wasn't in a state of denial. I accepted and took on everything that she said. And if anything, my child is not returnable. And we don't care what's wrong with him. The only need that our little boy has is he needs his mama not to be scared, but needs his mama to come on and get him home so that he can have a nice family that really, truly cares about him.
the fuck out of me.
I'm done. Get her off. I can't
done.
even hear her voice.
I know
Needs
it's
her
so
mama.
irritating. Viewers felt like they were really going through the whole process with them, you know? They were like basically there for every step of the way. They were like adopting a kid too, essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
They're like, where's our baby boy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is like, I can't judge people fully for feeling that way, since like when we were young, we were really like that. But it's like, I think that's like a thing you grow out of. And like, I do fully judge people who are still like that now. You have this parasocial relationship with other people's kids. I think something is wrong with you, and I stand firm on that. I think that in today's day and age, in 2025, you should know that is fucking weird.
I agree. And a lot of people seem to.
Good. I'm glad that most people get that now.
Let's get into the vlog where they first meet Huxley. Because, of course, the first time the family meets him will also be the first time that the viewers meet him. So James says, quote, "I want him to know we are going to be his parents forever. I'd tell him that we've loved you since the day we saw your first picture and that we are going to love you for the rest of your life." Seems really sweet, right? Seems great.
That's so sad. It's just so sad.
It
It's
is
so
sad.
performative.
Infuriating and performative. It's so many things, but just above all, it's just so fucking horrible.
So they literally film themselves packing up to go to China. They film themselves on the plane. They film themselves getting off, blah, blah, blah.
Every step of it, we need to make sure we can milk as much content out of this as we can.
And then here comes the clip of when they finally meet him for the first time. And it definitely isn't this like warm, fuzzy rainbows and butterflies, like the kids running into the Stauffer's arms.
I think that's what they wanted it to be.
I think that's exactly what they wanted it to be. And it wasn't like that,
No.
which
It's actually really, really
sad.
upsetting.
it's sad. But I have a feeling, which I am not super versed in adoption, but I have a feeling that's quite common.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. I mean, we heard from people in the documentary who, you know, either have expertise in the field, lots of experience, or people who have been adopted themselves, that there's tons of trauma that comes with it.
Of course. You're not just going to run out, oh, this is your new mom. Oh my God, amazing. Run into their arms and off you go into the sunset together to live your perfect life.
Yeah.
Especially a kid who's older. You know, Huxley was super attached to his foster parents or his foster mom. And so
who speak his language, who, you know,
have his routine
and
down.
then here he's walking into people who don't speak his language, a bunch of white people who are already shoving a camera in his face.
Yep. I don't think the like warm, fuzzy welcome home video that they probably wanted it to be.
And they look like disappointed. And it's like, they're obviously, this was their real child that they're adopting. So obviously they probably had some real emotion of like, this is just upsetting for us to see. This is not what we were hoping for.
You should
but
have
like,
been prepared that was probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, that's still right. In a perfect scenario, you would love for the kid to immediately bond with you and run off together. But like,
That's a fantasy world.
that's yeah, exactly. And so you need to be prepared that and know what you're getting into.
And Myka looks like upset in that footage, and I'd like to believe that's all just because she's concerned about him and like it wasn't the experience that she was like hoping for or whatever. But like a big part of me thinks that she's like, how is this going to look being uploaded?
Yeah.
Here's this
Well, they
child
use
who's
that
like freaked out.
Yeah, like they use it for content of them kind of like being emotional, like kind of crying. Like when James is like, you know, talking like, oh, well, we didn't realize, you know, they totally use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And just so you know, too, if you haven't watched the documentary or don't plan on, they used like, I've never seen anything like this, but they like did like a drawing on top of him almost. You could see it, but like it wasn't him. Like you can't. There's nothing identifiable.
But it's you're able to still basically see exactly what's happening just without seeing his actual like person.
Yeah, which I really appreciate that they did not show him at all. God, I cannot believe this poor child's trauma. This like such an insane moment in his life is just broadcast, and it's like forever on the internet.
Thankfully, there's not that many re-uploads of their vlogs. There's one that we found. But it's like on a third-party website. It's like not on YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
but it's really hard to find their archives. So that's kind of good.
That is good. Yeah, I think it's good, especially if you know it ends up happening. Okay, so Myka posted a video named 1 Week Old and talks about the trip and says one of the hardest things about their first week in China was seeing Huxley's trauma, and she admitted that she didn't want to show him online experiencing this trauma and that it would feel wrong. But the viewers wanted all the updates. And what's really crazy is people started sending gifts to them, which I think was out of good intention, right?
Mhm.
Like they just felt excited for them and wanted to send them gifts. But I think that just shows such a parasocial. I would never
Yeah.
send someone's rant. I don't know.
People
I don't
send us
wanna-
a bunch of gifts when we had Holly,
I don't.
actually.
I don't want to shame people for that, but I don't know. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah. I really appreciated it at the time. Like tons of people, several people crocheted blankets for us for Holly. And I thought that was really sweet because they were handmade.
Yeah.
and-
On the other side of that, I think, especially some people who might not have, the family or not have that support, that
Yeah.
real life support.
Yeah.
I think it's an escapism. I think that if they're doing it with the best intention, obviously, sometimes things can cross a line. But I feel like for the most part, sometimes it's just people just have a
Yeah.
connection to somebody and,
Yeah.
they are kind of like a family member, which is, I
But
know
they're
that's
not though.
But think about it the way that people send us things that they make for the sesh all the time. Like people have sent us
Yes.
trays and jewelry
No,
and
and
painted rocks.
Of course, yes.
It's like fan mail. Well, I get it when it's going to a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, it made me feel really supported at the time.
Okay,
And I
that's fair.
appreciated it.
I guess I don't have a kid, so I can't really speak. And when people send letters and stuff to us, I think
Mhm.
I love it, and I think it's a
Right.
cool way to connect to people.
I think it's them just wanting to show
I don't know.
support. I think it's different when they know the child.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was gonna say. I get what you're saying, Janelle. That it because of what we know.
Yeah,
It's almost it seemed
Yeah.
weird because he was so blasted online.
yeah,
Mhm.
So then that's to me why it seems a little strange, but I get in other
yeah.
terms.
The family,
we
I can see both sides.
We still have fans that send Holly gifts.
Yeah,
there
and
are
I don't
people
wanna-
who send us ornaments and
yeah,
there's actually this one girl, shout out to you, Monique. She's awesome, but she always sends Holly a birthday gift or something around all the different holidays, and it's so sweet. But it's she doesn't know Holly at all because I don't
Right. Sure.
film her vlogs.
Yeah.
There's no videos of
Yeah,
her
yeah.
where you would get to know her person. So it doesn't feel weird to me.
Sure. I think I can see both sides for sure.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think if you know the kid, I don't know why.
Then it's
I think
it
it's just
kinda
more
gets
so
weirder when you
Yeah.
when
And
you're
the
picking out
story.
stuff that you would know that they would like based on what you've seen.
I
in
just
their
again,
vlogs.
it's bringing it back to you have this personal connection with this child who doesn't have any idea who you are, and the parents have no idea who you are.
But
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think it's the viewer's fault. I think it's the parents' fault for allowing it and for inviting that. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
think it's on the viewer. I think it's on
Yeah.
the family or on the creator who's allowing them and
to form that
right.
relationship.
They're allowing a stranger to form a relationship with your child
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So personally, I don't necessarily blame the viewer.
Yeah.
I think that again, some people are just really lonely and they
Yeah.
need that connection.
Or they're just friendly. I always take it
Yes,
when
or
people
friendly.
send something for Holly, I feel like it's a gift for Josh and I. They're just
Sure.
a fan who want to support us in our parenting journey.
Yeah.
Because they don't when people were making baby blankets for her, it wasn't there was no theme they were following because they knew
Yeah.
Holly's favorite colors or
It's
what
just
I
a
was
sweet
designing.
gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to shame people who are.
No, I know
no.
you're not.
No.
I
I
see.
have a weird.
It's a weird thing.
It's a
It's
push and pull
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. I
Yeah.
feel very conflicted with
Yeah.
the overall idea. I think that a lot of people have really wonderful intentions with it, but I also see this side where it's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
I get it too.
But-
I feel weird about it. I think it's because we do know this story
When you
too.
know the
Yeah, I
story.
guess that's
Yeah.
probably why I feel a type of way is because it's once you know what happened, it's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
So, anyways, yeah, everyone wants updates though, and she kind of said, yeah, I don't really want to shove his trauma at the camera, but she also knows that that's going to get the most engagement because people want updates. I don't know. I think that she maybe tried to slow down a little bit, but
Yeah.
it definitely did not work.
Right.
I guess you could say, because then she starts uploading shit that's the all about him.
It's always Huxley's first time on camera. Huxley's first day at Disney World.
And he's in all the thumbnails.
Yep.
Oh my-
Adopting again. Ooh, will we do it again? Finally seeing the real Huxley, and all
Yeah.
of you should see it too.
Yeah.
Huxley became the star of the show for them.
Exactly.
And there's another vlog family out there that's doing this. And I'll just say their names. The Saccone Jollies. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, they have a child who transitioned, and that child has become like the center focus of
How
all
old's
of
the
their
child?
content. I don't know. She's got I don't know. I haven't watched them in so long,
Okay.
but yeah, it's like the
like,
main focus now.
I think the more we can normalize that type of thing happening is wonderful.
Yes.
And the more we can talk about it. But it's just, there's such a
Talk
gray
about it as
area.
a parent without having the child in it and part of it. And it's like literally became their entire, because they know it's like getting the most clicks, the most controversy. And that's like that's a whole nother problem with it, is there's so much hate on this poor child already all over the internet. And I don't know if they like shield her from that.
Yeah.
But like at what cost are you raising awareness and helping? Like and there's other channels that do stuff like this, and like you can see the good sides of it, but like what is the child getting out of it? What benefit is the child getting beyond like money and vacations and things like that? And yes, you can argue that those are good things, but like, is it really worth it? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I am so excited to finally be partnering with Nutrafol on this show, because Nutrafol is a product that I truly stand behind. I have been taking it and paying for it myself since way before they started sponsoring any of our content. After I had my daughter, my hair thinned out so much. It was just not the same. It was stressing me out so bad. I looked into all types of alternatives, and a lot of them were painful and didn't know if they were going to work or anything. So I found Nutrafol, and wow, it has made such a massive change for me. I cannot even tell you. I've been on it for over 2 years now, and I just love it. If you haven't heard of Nutrafol, it's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Now, everyone's root cause of hair thinning is different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth just doesn't cut it. So Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum and menopause, as well as for different lifestyles, such as plant-based diets. And while many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. It's physician formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients. Nutrafol supplements support visibly thicker, stronger hair from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. So start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code SESH. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code SESH. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code SESH. Just side note, we're not going to spend too much time talking about them, but they also had this family on there, the Earls. And I do not think that these people knew that this was a documentary on Myka when they agreed to do it.
Yeah, no.
I think it was like honestly kind of the funniest part of the whole thing. If there was anything funny about this documentary, it was them. Because there was like one specific part where they're interviewing them and they're trying to talk about family vlogging, and they're like, oh yeah, and you can tell it was like, oh, this is great exposure for our family channel, and like what we're doing is so good, and blah, blah, blah. And then they're interviewing them and they bring up Myka, and their faces, oh my God.
Yeah.
The dad literally goes, or they ask the mom something, what's her name? They're Harold and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
They ask Rachel something, and Harold was like, careful. Remember, he was like, be careful.
Be careful.
His eyes when he said that were
He's like, holy
piercing.
shit, this is about the Stauffers. Like,
The Stauffers.
They're the Stauffers to me.
Or like
macaroni and cheese
the
Stauffers.
camera angle. He's like, we like to film like this.
Yeah.
So and I was just like, you were pretty much explaining.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think they.
I don't know.
Do they kind of expose
They look
themselves?
so bad in this.
Well, don't they? Doesn't at one point the doc mention how they like basically
exploit their kids? Yes.
but like pitched as like we were just they thought that they were just being interviewed about family vlogging.
I was wondering, like, what's the legality around like including someone in a documentary? Because they could have just told them it's about family vlogging,
Which
and
it
maybe
is.
that legally covers enough, or you don't have to tell them exactly.
If you think of shows like Intervention and stuff, shows like that don't tell the the protagonist that we're doing an intervention.
Yeah.
It's like a documentary on your life. You know what I mean? So I think that's
what they did there.
They probably signed something.
That's it.
For them to have criticized the Stauffers in any way, they would then have to admit that what they're doing is wrong. And I'm sure they were like, fuck, we got to get out of this situation now. Like, just stop talking.
At one point, they do say, like, we do exaggerate some of the things that happen in our family
to
gain views.
Why were they saying all this? Oh, it looks
He's like,
so
because
bad.
that's like how you get the most views, is if it's like big and bold and
And I think she's like, well, yeah, she's like, we make sure the kids are safe, but if something happens, then we're gonna like play it up. Yikes!
Yeah. All right.
Yikes!
All right. And it's like, I guess she just thought like, ooh, HBO's doing a documentary. We want to be part of this, no matter what. It's good exposure for us. But really dumb decision for y'all. I wonder what their vlog channel's like. We should go take a quick peek at it. Just a quick little detour. I just want to check out the Earls. Big surprise!
Finding out we're pregnant.
Baby. Telling our kids about what?
baby.
Yeah. It's the same recipe. They all follow the same recipe.
And it works.
This might be the end. I don't want to blindside you.
Yeah.
What are
Goodbye for now.
what's like their average views? I can't see from here.
Their average is like 50,000.
Yeah.
Between like 20 and 50 maybe.
Christmas presents
2 months
for the
ago,
family.
they had a video that had 299,000.
But what was it?
The baby
reveal.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then before that
They'll
was
do it.
You can see which ones do. It's so clear. Like,
Yeah.
the Christmas presents, blah, but baby.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
totally.
Yep. So they see that data on the other side.
damn.
and
They
they're
get
like,
pregnant like 6 times a year.
Yeah, well, got to keep it running.
That's like an ongoing theme of family vloggers, is like to
Yeah.
keep having kids.
I know that started. It made me even think about Judy and Benji. They have 5.
Yeah.
Are there real conversations? There has to be real conversations. I'm not accusing them of anything, and I really don't think they're bad people. I don't agree with what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that has to be a conversation that you're having, like in the bedroom, or maybe not in the bedroom, but just, you know what I mean? About the bedroom. We're like, do we want to do this? Because this would be good for our business.
Well, the 19 Kids and Counting people, obviously that's on a YouTube channel, but it's a reality TV show about this giant family.
Which that's like for religious reasons too.
But
they probably would have done it without
yes,
it.
but also I think they're like,
Sign on
another kid,
season.
get another season.
Yeah.
They started at 17 Kids and Counting,
Yeah.
or 16 Kids and Counting, or something like that.
Mhm.
So I think I obviously I think there was a religious aspect to it, but also I think they realized like, damn, if we get pregnant again,
Revitalize.
add one to the teen number of kids we have.
Yeah. It
Get another
has to be part of their
season, some more views.
conversation.
Right.
Imagine that being part of your family planning, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
God.
It's horrible. She says, my dad has cancer.
That's
Yeah.
one of her titles too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. These people cannot stop.
Okay, and I will say this. I think that if you personally are going through something and you want to use that as clickbait for your video, then I think you have every right to do that, right?
I agree. That is
that's your story to tell. That's your life to live. If you want to monetize off it, I don't see any problem in doing that. People have book deals. People have documentaries. If you want to vlog about something personal in your life and you use it as clickbait.
I would almost go as far as to say, too, that if you are dealing with a parent with cancer and maybe you've talked to them about it, that you can share your personal experience about it. But it changes so much when it becomes a fucking title and thumbnail.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So back to the Stauffers here.
Yeah. Can they just be the Stauffers from now
Sure.
on? Now I'm craving like a good Stauffer's mac and cheese. I love Stauffers.
Yeah, great. I like Bob Evans personally.
Really? Josh is a Bob Evans.
I
I'm a
love Bob
Stauffer's girl.
Evans. Love that man, Bob. Anywho, all right, so going back to this, one of the videos shows Huxley wearing a thumb guard, and they talked about how he sucked his thumb a lot and how much it really bothered her. And she talked about how, like, the dentists were basically telling her he needs to stop doing this, otherwise he's going to have complications down the road, which is definitely a thing. Like, kids who suck their thumb going for too long have complications.
Yeah. I had a
later
cousin
on.
who sucked his thumb, or actually no, had his binky till 2nd grade, and it caused a lot of dental issues for him. I just don't know. I don't know enough about it because Holly never sucked her thumb and never had a pacifier. So I haven't like educated myself on the topic too much.
Sucking on pacifiers, I know, like, yeah, it can also cause damage. But whatever. Regardless, he was having problems with it. So of course they made that into content. He had like a little thumb guard and they were like talking about that, which this is where it really starts to piss me off, is like when you're exploiting your kids' challenges of any sort is so fucked up to me.
Yeah, that's like filming them at all is a problem.
But when
But
go ahead.
when you get to that level where you're like, let's like share their learning disabilities or what they're struggling with emotionally about X, Y, and Z.
Showing them have a tantrum, showing them in timeout.
That's when you really cross the
That shit
line.
really fucking pisses me off.
Me too.
Like when she follows him into the closet and he's like crying and I'm just
she's like, come on, let's
boy.
go.
Like just he needs comfort.
Yep.
He needs to be left alone.
Yeah.
You don't want when I'm having a crisis, the last thing I want to do is have it filmed.
Yeah,
what
unless you're the one filming it yourself and uploading it and you're able to consent to doing that, it should not be done, period, point blank. It's like, it's even crazier to me now that I have a child to just ever picture myself. Like, I can't think of a situation with Holly, but I would never want random people's, like, let alone for them to watch it or want their advice or to be having this issue and like presenting it like, well, we're dealing with this. And just, it's so weird. Why would anyone want this in their life and for their child? And like, yes, I understand they're making a lot of money and that like drives people to do crazy shit, but there's like no amount of money that would make me want to hurt my child in that way. Like, you love your child more than anything in the world, or at least you're supposed to. And you're the only person in the world that's like designated to protect them. And you just not? And you're fine with it and you can sleep?
Yeah.
It's just so insane. So insane.
Yeah.
So then at one point, the documentary goes over a specific sponsorship that Myka had with Dreft baby detergent, which I used that in the beginning. I feel like it's like kind of a gimmick. It's just like, it's for babies. I don't know. It's probably like less chemicals and stuff. I don't know. I don't think it like, she was like, oh, it smells like a newborn baby. And this is where it really gets fucked up. Is she said that she used it to bond with her son because she never got to be around him when he was a newborn. So by using this fucking detergent, she was able to bond with him as if he was a newborn and smell him like he's a newborn. And she used that to sell baby detergent. Like, really? You couldn't have thought of any other talking point than that.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're smelling him.
What the hell?
This adoption
so
hasn't been
weird.
the easiest ride. We have had so many bumps along the way, but it's by far one of my favorite journeys I have ever embarked on. I love everything about this little boy, and I wouldn't trade him for anything. # the smell of babyhood.
This is oh my God, that's the caption.
I think that if it wasn't an ad, it wouldn't be as bad. I think it's a little weird. But the fact that she's literally using her Huxley as a selling point. Like, she's objectifying him as
a prop in her ad.
Yeah.
With the Dreft baby detergent like behind.
I agree with you, Karelly. Like, there's nothing wrong with a parent like trying to bond with a child that they've adopted later in life by whatever means, if it's a smell or something, But when you're attaching when you're getting paid to do it and coming up with this way, how am I gonna market this and like prey on people's emotions using my own child?
Yeah.
You've just so lost the plot at that point.
Right,
Like, these people are just, God, they are so fucked up.
it takes out any kind of like sincerity from it. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not
It's not sincere. I wonder how much they were paying for stuff like that. I've heard the vlog families, like mother content, they get like
Bang.
yeah, they
Really?
make a ton. Yeah, just high paying advertisers.
Interesting.
They like convert like
She got
crazy.
like Swiffer, Dannon.
She got
Yeah.
Mattel.
Yep.
She's gotten
Mhm.
tons of sponsorships.
Mhm.
Which
Not
I'm like-
Walmart.
which I'm like, make your fucking coin. What, like,
Just don't make it off the kids.
Yeah.
Don't have the kids in the ads. Don't have the kids anywhere.
Yeah.
The only reason you're getting these is because you've exploited your kids and you're being rewarded by these brands now.
So months go by and people start to get used to Huxley and used to their family. And they're like, oh my God, we need another big bomb to drop to get the viewership back up,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What better than having another kid?
Perfect. About that time.
They dropped a video called Huge Announcement, New Baby Number 5.
No. Hot off the
And-
press.
Yep. They were planning to document the entire journey again. And then 2 months later, she drops another video called I Think I'm Pregnant.
It's just like so weird to include people in that whole conversation and what you're going through that early on.
And
To
why?
me, strangers, like specifically, I want to make that clear. Like, I see nothing wrong with including people in your personal life early on, but random people on the internet rushing out.
I guess you're
like-
just, I mean, you have to be prepared for the people to give you all the opinions and everything and whatever. Like, and if something goes wrong, or you have to be prepared for them to Because everyone's an armchair expert on.
Yeah, and I guess I shouldn't, I'm sure there are people who want, maybe they're not getting enough personal support, so they go to the internet to have that personal support early on. It's just what bothers me is I think they do it as soon as they can so they can milk the pregnancy for as long as possible. That's where the problem lies for me.
Well, I mean, if you look at her, that's her content. So it's clearly she is using it. Just, I mean, again, it's different if someone's here and there. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's.
Also, it's too much talk about thinking about them having sex. You know what I mean? I'm pregnant again. I don't really want to think about them doing it.
You know what I mean? They're live streaming us trying to have a baby.
Conception in real time.
Guys, this is for educational purposes, okay? Legs in the air.
Legs in the air.
And then, she puts out a video where she's telling James that she's pregnant. It's really over the top. It's very obvious that a lot of it is for views.
Oh, it was so cringe.
And then, of course, they have a lot of money, so they have a new house. And there's a whole house tour. And she's showing this gorgeous new home.
That's so crazy too, the house tours.
Those were okay. I was obsessed.
I love.
And I'm not gonna lie. If someone I follow puts up a house tour, I'm looking.
Oh, I'm gonna watch.
I can't believe
watching.
People still do that in this day and age. Though
Dangerous.
it's so dangerous
to
literally
be okay, here's our entryway. Then to the left is our powder room. Then to the right is our living room. Then here's the kitchen. And here's the backyard.
Dude, that's so crazy. I did a apartment tour probably in 2014 or something like that. And now looking back, I'm how dumb was I to upload
it is not hard.
my apartment to
you
the
can
internet.
Start putting together the floor plan of your house. Then she talks about family vacations and how they're going on these big extravagant vacations. She feels like she's a celebrity going in.
I can't believe she said that. That was so
they
horrible.
put in so many clips of that. That's when it really started getting bad. I didn't know about any of that. Because I only knew about them from what happens with Huxley, but seeing these clips was so crazy. I feel like I'm a celebrity. I could just cry right now. And then, James is seen inside of a Cartier store commenting that Mike has always wanted a piece of jewelry from there. And Cartier is it's so expensive.
Okay, here's my thing.
Holy shit, I didn't know how much these were.
Cartier.
I'm not going to judge you how you spend your own money, right? If you want to go buy a $7,000 bracelet and you can afford it, then whatever, fucking do it. It's all relative at the end of the day. What's a lot to someone is not to someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just I can't imagine it's just a gold bracelet.
But
it's just it's boring.
Yeah, but if you find it fun and you want to spend your money on that, then go off.
Holy fuck, the Trinity ring is $47,000. This is so wild.
It's very
to me.
expensive.
Yeah, do what you want.
So the reason why I think this is so wild is because at one point later down the road, she starts talking about how Huxley needs speech therapy. And she's vlogging herself saying that they're going to switch to a different therapist because the one that they were using costs $500 a session. And she's that's just ridiculous. We're going to switch to one that's only $70. I'm why are you giving people that information just to begin with?
I know. Why would you ever be dumb enough to do that?
Just don't say that. But then if you're going to say that, people of course are going to be that's interesting. Because you have a Cartier bracelet on your wrist right now, holding up that vlog camera of yours while you're saying
it's
you
literally
don't,
in that clip,
you don't
right?
want to spend the money on your kid's speech therapist. Which again,
Myka,
$500 is obviously a lot for a speech therapy. People were arguing you can clearly afford it.
Yeah, clearly. Sell your fucking bracelet. You love this child so much that God has told you to get. So then this was another great part of the documentary. Myka was interviewed by the YouTube channel Video Influencers at Vid Summit, which is another one of those creator conventions, VidCon, or what was the other big one? Playlist Live.
Yeah.
Vid Summit, where Sean, the interviewer, asked her about her YouTube channel, and he asked if she had a favorite failure. And her response is pretty questionable. I mean, we can just take a look. We have the video.
Oh, you've been growing. And the first question would be, what have been the things that you feel have led to the growth of your views and of your subscribers?
One of the big things I did was I started studying analytics really hard. My husband is the mastermind behind SEO. He is literally an SEO god. He is the only reason we started taking off. But if you do your research and you do your research right, you could have a liquid gold mine and it could be insane.
How did you level up your content? Because content is king.
In this industry, when you're getting better, so if your content looks really good, crisp and clean, brands love that. Almost commercial-like, or they can just see themselves even better working with you. And that's really important.
Do you have a favorite failure, and how has maybe a failure in your life set you up for future success?
So I wouldn't call it a failure, but I would call it something that was really, 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 really challenging. We recently adopted a little guy from China. Definitely not a failure.
God.
But when we adopted him, he had a totally different diagnosis than what we were told. We were told that he had a brain tumor. And as a cancer nurse, I was comfortable with that moving forward. And he actually had severe brain damage, severe autism, and some severe delays that may mean that he may live with me for the rest of his life, something that we just literally were not ready for. And with that, when we adopted our son and we were going through the process, they told us that, developmentally on par, everything was really good to go. And we were comfortable with all of the information that we had been given. And one of the reasons why I love this challenge, not a failure, but challenge that I experienced, is I'm such a better mom because of it. And that challenge really challenged us. It frustrated us. It was a struggle. It was a mental struggle to get into a really happy place when you go through something that is so big. Like when you adopt a child, it's forever. And when you adopt a child and there's stuff that you didn't know, so maybe some hidden information, it's hard. It's genuinely just naturally hard. It just puts you in a spot you didn't know you were going to be in.
I can't fucking listen to her. It pisses
It's
me
like
off
the
so
part you have to remember about that is his question is like your favorite failure that then set you up for success. And that was her answer.
She's like adopting my kid.
Yeah, set us up for success.
Why would you say that? Okay, one day your fucking kid might watch this
I know.
and see you say this and basically say, oh, geez, he was a huge challenge and considered somewhat of a failure for us.
Yeah, she's like, I wouldn't call it a failure, but a really, 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 really huge challenge.
But that's just, even if it is a really, 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 really huge challenge, don't say that to the public.
I know, it's bizarre, especially
Say that
because
to your
of
counselor.
what the question actually was, but that
Right.
later set you up.
Yeah.
You can even hear the interviewer go,
Oh, he was talked about how awkward he felt. Like, what are you supposed to say back to that?
It was so bizarre.
Yeah. So,
Especially when it's a conversation around business strategy
Like
on YouTube.
yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
But it shows they didn't have any concept of reality of what they were doing. Or they did.
Mm.
They just didn't care.
Yeah, that's
They didn't see anything wrong with what they were doing.
Yeah. And then people started really noticing this like shift in their content. And I think that it was harder and harder to like try and put on this facade of having this perfect life.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing Huxley in videos crying, the parents seeming to be frustrated and having tantrums.
Did you see any of this content, you guys, when you were researching?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
fucked up.
heartbreaking.
I'm sure it was so upsetting. I
Why
can't
would
imagine
you put
watching
that
that.
online.
It's evil.
I definitely see a difference in the way that she treated her biological kids to the way she treated Huxley. Which it really did feel like Huxley was like a commodity and like not their actual child.
They also fully like talked about his diagnosis online. They were recapping their first year and 2 months with him. They listed his entire prognosis, revealing that he had several medical and developmental challenges. After the video, it seemed like the two of them started making more of an effort to help him and, actively working with him. They continued featuring him in their videos, keeping the spotlight on him while portraying themselves as dedicated parents. We are here to help. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that this kid gets all the help that they need. They were showing there's this one video of them practicing sign language with him, going through the words that he had learned. And at that point, they really seemed to have this strong bond with Huxley. And so that's why when whatever happened next happened, it was even more shocking because it just seemed like they had really come to a good spot with everything.
Yeah.
That video where they're doing sign language is supposedly the last video that he's in. But
It's like almost like whiplash for the viewer too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he was like the star of the show forever. And then all of a sudden, he just basically disappears from the channel. And they continue uploading videos without him there. And people start to be like, where's Huxley? We want an update. What's going on? We used to see him every single day. You used to tell us every single thing about this child, and now there's nothing there. What is going on? Like, what are you hiding? The speculation was going wild.
Which is at the time, I'm sure there were people that were hoping, or maybe not, I don't know. But were some of those people thinking maybe they've decided that we shouldn't be sharing this stuff? We need to take him off the
But don't
channel.
you think they would have said that?
Yeah,
That was the case?
Yeah.
Like, hey guys,
That's what
you're not going to
people-
see him anymore because
yeah.
we
People
made the
probably put
decision.
2 and 2 together there. That's probably not what's happening.
Yeah. And also, then, of course, the internet, being armchair detectives, started finding like little clues. Like, for instance, videos from James's like garage, Stauffer garage channel. They noticed that his car seat was missing.
Yeah.
And so they start putting 2 and 2 together and realize, like, no, something is wrong. Like, he's not there.
Something happened to him, or he has been rehomed.
Yep.
People started figuring that out before they even announced it.
Yep. And sure enough, on May 26th, 2020, Myka and James posted a video called An Update on Our Family. And yeah, they dropped the bomb that he was rehomed.
This is such an infamous picture.
I know.
Yeah, it really is.
And they've got the white getup on. That's like
on the bed.
Mm-hmm. So, yep. On
There's
the
like
bed.
a formula.
It
Such
is
a formula.
it's like it was almost like they were preemptively doing an apology video because they knew it was not going to
Basically.
be received well. It's so disgusting. This video. They are totally trying to make it seem like they're the victims here.
Yeah, people think they were even like fake crying.
By far the hardest video James and I have ever publicly had to make. But before I get into the video, I did just want to say thank you to how amazing our viewers have been. We have some viewers who have been just like so incredibly kind and respectful of our son's privacy. I just want to say that really got me through some really hard times, and I just want to say thanks. Like, you have no idea what that means to me, and some of the special messages that you sent. Like, thanks for this like ever.
I can't say
You can see he's like looking for the tears.
throughout this entire journey, and the amount of effort she's put into this and helping Huxley as much as she can. So I mean, you guys have been part of this adoption journey even before we picked up Huxley throughout the whole process. And with international adoption, sometimes there's unknowns and things that are not transparent on files and things like that. And once Huxley came home, there was a lot more special needs that we weren't aware of and that we were not told. So over the
I
past
thought you guys were
few
down with
years,
99 out of 100
Right.
conditions.
What was that one?
with all his needs. And over the last year has been a more intense therapy that he's been in to try to help him as much as possible with his severe needs. And for us, it's been really hard hearing from the medical professionals a lot of their feedback and things that have been upsetting. We've never wanted to be in this position, and we've been trying to get his needs met and help him out as much as possible. It's really hard. And we truly love him.
There's not an ounce of our body that doesn't love Huxley with all of our being. There wasn't a minute that I didn't try our hardest. And
Could have sold the Cartier.
I think what Jim's trying to say is that after multiple assessments, after multiple evaluations, numerous medical professionals have felt that he needed a different fit and that his medical needs, he needed more.
We haven't made this video yet. It's because we've been trying to protect his privacy.
Okay.
Right.
Can we be done with them? I get so annoyed hearing their stupid asses.
I don't need to.
I need to comment on this, though. She literally goes, medical professionals said that he needed a higher level of care, whatever she said. Yeah, from you. Step it the fuck up then.
Yeah, and they tried to tell you all of this in the beginning, and you said,
Right.
"Oh, we're good. We're
Right,
ready
we
for
don't
this."
care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then I'm sure what the medical professionals did is say, these are his diagnoses. He needs X, Y, and Z. He's going to need X, Y, and Z therapy. This is the type of support that he needs. But I'm sure they weren't like, and you guys probably aren't the best for it. So
Yeah.
I would suggest getting rid of him. No. I would assume they said, this is what he needs. Are you willing to do it?
Yeah. Then
This
if
is
it-
what we suggest
yes.
his treatment plan is. And for
Mhm.
whatever reason, they weren't willing to do it. And it really irks me that this whole time they're playing this whole card of like, oh, God sent him to us.
Mhm, mhm.
You know, this was like,
And
really?
doctors are trying to discourage us, but we're trying to listen to what God is telling us to do. So did God tell you to
to
give
do
him
this
up?
and then give him up?
Seems like a weird thing.
Just
Interesting how that works. Oh, it's so infuriating. And then, so one thing that kind of the one thing that really irked me in the documentary was like they went on this whole section talking about, they kind of like started letting them play the victim a little bit. Like, this has been so horrible for them, and there's all these people that sending them death threats, and I do not condone that at all. I think there's a line that people always cross that should never be crossed, and I don't think they deserve death threats, or especially with their children involved. I know they had to move, and we'll go over some of that.
Of course,
but I think it was frustrating to me that this documentary kind of put a lot of it on YouTubers and like non-traditional media, because Sophie Ross was the first to bring awareness to the situation, to bring it at least to the mainstream news. And they went on this whole thing where they like were like, oh, and then Dad Challenge, he made 54 videos about it. All these people started profiting off of it by making content around it. And it's like, traditional media fails in so many situations. I mean, there were people calling out Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand. People were calling out that family with 8 passengers way before the media caught on, when it actually became proven to be true. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, there are a lot of people that cross the line with harassment and bullying, but a lot of creators actually bring awareness to stories. Like, even in the true crime space, there's so many cases that the media does not cover, does not talk about, that needs awareness. And then they dare to criticize people who are taking the time to do it and do it right. And that just pisses me off so much that they like made this dig at him when maybe it was a little too far. 54 videos he did. And I'm sure a lot of it, maybe some of it did cross the line into bullying. But I think to like demonize the internet as a whole for like being like, oh, internet sleuths and all these like lowlifes that are just talking about this, and it's so
but
horrible.
Okay for traditional media to do.
Exactly. And what do you think they're doing? They're profiting off of it too.
We're literally watching an HBO series on it.
Yeah, that was what was so annoying about it. Is here is this documentary criticizing people for talking about this situation when they're doing the same thing and profiting off of it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
No, I agree.
So it's like, that's where they kind of lost me, was like towards the end was like, oh, it's so sad for them that people are like, yes, of course. And that's the risk that you take when you choose to get on the internet.
Right.
I've gotten death threats. I've gotten horrible. People are fucking brutal to every single person who has put themselves onto the internet. That is part of the risk. And especially when you take the chance of uploading your entire personal life and your family and your children. So it's like, I don't really feel bad for them because they put themselves in this situation entirely. Again, I do not support sending people stuff like that. That is so vile, like actually bullying, harassment.
Yeah.
But like people criticizing you, I don't feel boohoo for you in any fucking way.
Especially at what
you
they're
put
doing.
yourself into this and you got your Cartier out of it. So shut the fuck up. I just don't understand why there's always these people who are like, oh, content creators are reporting on things. Leave it to the media.
Why?
Do you not get how much more the media makes and how little they actually do when it comes to reporting on smaller stories that need attention? It's like that will always drive me fucking nuts.
It's also shocking to me how often the media gets stuff just blatantly wrong.
All the time.
Like, really wrong. I'm like,
yes. We're in a new age where people have to stop treating creators as if they're not journalists in their own way. Especially at a certain level, you really do become a media outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just think to be like, oh, they're just like losers on their computers that are like ranting and
I just don't
making
understand
money
that
off
thought
of
process.
it. Like,
so are people at E! News just losers on their computers?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that. I don't understand what the real difference is.
right. You know, like people are losing faith in the mainstream media at a rapid pace.
Mm-hmm.
Josh from Dad Challenge did do like, and I didn't watch all 54 of his videos. I don't know if he crossed the line to bullying and harassment, but like he did raise a lot of awareness about this situation, and he continues to hold families accountable who are doing this to this day all the time. And are they reporting on it? No. Like major news publications and media aren't reporting on the families that are still doing it. They wait until something gets bad enough to where it becomes an 8-passenger situation, and then they're going to go make multiple series and make tons of money off it. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck you on that. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Everything else, I thought the documentary was pretty good.
So, I mean, now that they're getting all this backlash, of course, they're losing brand deals left and right. People are contacting different brands, begging them to stop working with them. Fabletics dropped her.
Yeah, Kate Hudson even tweeted about it.
Yeah, she says she was terminated. Even Barbie made an official statement saying that they severed ties with the Stauffer family. This one person online discovered that there was this old vlog that was up for a second, and then it got taken down, and then it was re-uploaded, and the new version was 20 seconds shorter. So people started being like, what the hell was in that 20 seconds? Like, they wanted to know. And they figured out that what was in that 20 seconds was footage of Huxley in the closet with duct tape on his hand.
And to clarify, he wasn't in the closet as like a punishment or anything. He was in the closet like pulling stuff out. And the dad walks over and is like, you rearranging the closet for daddy or something like that? Right. But then you see his hand is duct tape.
You can see though, on frame, his hand has duct tape on it. And so they took that out, obviously, because they were trying to avoid people seeing that, but the internet caught hold of it. So then people started being like, are they abusing their kids? What's going on with that?
There's just no reason to put duct tape on a child ever.
Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck you're trying to do.
And then the Delaware County Police started receiving tons of calls and emails from people making allegations of possible child abuse. And then an investigation was started, and it was opened on June 1st, 2020, 5 days after that video went up. And yeah, like we said, they were getting tons and tons of death threats, which again is just horrific. I don't think anyone deserves that, period. I don't see how that's helpful at all. It's in fact just more damaging to the children.
And yes, and to like make myself clear, I think there are plenty of creators in the space who take it way too far, and it just becomes about dogpiling and encouraging other people to harass and send these death threats. And like there is a line, but criticism, I don't think there is.
Yeah, I mean, people were reporting on this left, right, and center. And then on June 24th, 2020, she makes a post on Instagram that says the following. I want to first off apologize for the uproar and take full responsibility for all of the hurt that I have caused. This decision has caused so many people heartbreak, and I'm sorry for letting down so many women that looked up to me as a mother. I'm sorry for the confusion and the pain I caused, and I am sorry for not being able to tell more of my story from the beginning. I could have never anticipated the incidents which occurred on a private level to have ever happened, and I was trying my best to navigate the hardest thing I have ever been through. I apologize for being so naive. When I started the adoption process, I was not selective or fully equipped or prepared. I received 1 day of watching at home online video training and gained my HAG adoption certification, which was required by my accredited adoption agency. For me, I needed more training. I can't say I wish this never happened because I'm so glad Huxley is here and getting all the help he needs, even though he's not there anymore.
I think that she meant like in America.
Okay, well.
Yeah, there's problems with that as well.
I also know that even though he is happier in his new home and doing better, that he still experienced trauma, and I'm sorry, no adoptee deserves any more trauma. I wanted to help so bad I was willing to bring home any child that needed me. For this, I was naive, foolish, and arrogant. I wish so bad I would have been more prepared and done more. I wish the decision to disrupt never had to be made. Adoption and all special needs are amazing, and I have a ton of respect for every adoptee, adoption parent, and special needs parent. I look up to you in a million ways, and I'm sorry for hurting the community in any way. Lastly, to debunk a couple complete rumors, we did not adopt a child to gain wealth. While we did receive a small portion of money from videos featuring Huxley and his journey, every penny and much more went back into his care.
To say a small portion of money is
ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Getting Huxley the care and services he needed was very expensive, and we made sure to get every service and resource we could possibly find. Secondly, we are not under any type of investigation. I'm hoping to share more from my side of this story soon. And lastly, I'm so sorry for letting you down. I also want to mention that moms need a safe space to ask for help when they are struggling. No questions asked. We love Huxley and know that this was the right decision for him and his future, praying that Huxley only has the best future in the entire world.
So it's like she's definitely hinting that there was some incident or maybe multiple incidents that happened.
And you know what's interesting is afterwards they really painted James as like the good guy in all of this. Mm-hmm. And I don't really understand why.
Yeah, people on the internet did. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Not their family,
no.
but yeah.
But like, why?
Well,
he was just as much in it as she was.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't understand why they didn't get equal amount of hate.
It's just, I honestly think it's like a sexism thing, which pisses me off.
I think it's a sexism thing, and I also think it's because at one point, James was going to the appointments and stuff with Huxley alone.
Yes.
So people I think people like clung on to that.
He's the hero.
Right.
Seemed like a lot of I remember like the commentary channels that were making content about it back then, it was always like Myka Stauffer in the title and not Myka and James.
I get that she's the one that started the channel and she was, the main person of the two of them, but
especially when we find out that from her, she said that he's like the master of the analytics and stuff. Like,
yeah, he's the king of SEO. But yeah, he still has this car, like garage channel it kind of managed to skate by without getting too much hate. And then June 9th of 2020, Huxley was in the process of being adopted by a new family member, and a deputy contacted his adoptive family to conduct a well-being check on Huxley, and his new mother was singing a song as he was sitting in her lap, smiling. He appeared to be very happy and, well taken care of. And after that, the investigation was closed. And multiple times to the doc, they mentioned how they requested for James and Myka to make any comment. They obviously didn't respond, which is not a surprise at all. It just makes me so mad because this poor kid,
I know,
went through so much.
I know.
Online.
Yeah,
publicly
online.
For no reason.
Right. And I think that is something that the documentary gets into as well. They actually interviewed. So her name is Ashley. We don't know her last name, but she gets on the documentary and shared that she and her husband decided to adopt a child in 2014, choosing an international special needs adoption, just like the Stauffers did. Stauffers, whatever. They're Stauffers to me now. But she explained that during the process, they received as much medical information that was available about the child. Their daughter, who was also adopted, was 4 years old when they adopted her, weighing only 15 pounds. She couldn't walk, talk, or sit up on her own, and she described the journey as an incredibly tough uphill battle. But over time, things improved, so much so that Ashley and her husband felt confident enough to adopt a second child, and she said that they believed they had already been through the hardest part, having dealt with screaming all day long and many other challenges. And the second time that Ashley and her husband adopted, they brought home a little boy. And she said that when they first met him, he seemed very calm and appeared to be a good fit for her family. But after just 2 days of having him home, Ashley realized that things were not as they had expected. And she didn't go into any specifics about the struggle that they faced with their son, but admitted that things quickly started to spiral for them. And she said the turning point with her was when she realized that she wasn't functioning anymore. She couldn't remember things. She struggled to form sentences and was terrified of what might happen if she was pushed any further. She shared that she had been having negative thoughts about him. Like she straight up admitted that she like had thoughts of like harming this child, which obviously was very like courageous for her to open up about that. And she emphasized that when it got to that point, that she would never actually harm him, but just knowing that she was having those thoughts, that she was not a fit parent for him.
Yeah.
And obviously the big difference there, because there are tons of families out there who adopt and it ends up not working out for whatever reason. And like some of them, it's probably bad situations and there's criticism to be had there. But some of those people, I think, I've never been in that situation. I certainly can't judge.
Sure.
I don't think everyone that rehomes a child is a bad person. And sometimes it is in the child's best interest. The difference here with the Stauffers is they're the Stauffers. I don't care. Is that they tried to make money off of it. They documented the whole thing. They never really cared about his well-being, because if they did, they wouldn't have exposed him to the whole world like this and used him as a tool to make money. If there would have never been an issue with them if they had just gone through this experience and the world didn't know about it.
Yeah, but coming online and preaching, being like, he just needs to be with us. Mm-hmm. We have everything he needs. He's not returnable. There's no question about it. It's going to be fine. Like, really just coming out of this, like, holier than thou. Like, I am the savior. I know what's best for him. Mm-hmm. Nothing can get in the way of that.
We're prepared for anything. And then to go back to her like apology, to be clear, I want to clear up the rumors. It's not a rumor. It's speculation.
Yeah. And there's no way to prove it or not.
No, we can't prove it, but it's pretty fucking obvious. In my opinion, absolutely was part of the decision. Like we had this conversation earlier, but I'm sure there were other reasons. But I think you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't consider what it would do for your channel, okay? We all know you did, because that's what you ended up doing with it. If that was never part of the equation, he wouldn't have become the main star of the show, and you wouldn't have like milked every single moment and exploited this kid for the little time that you had with him. I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous.
And now there's videos of him out there that will be out there forever.
Forever.
And for what?
And that was another thing that was frustrating about the documentary is it felt like they brought on, and I'm glad they brought on Ashley. I think it was brave of her and her story, but it was almost like they were trying to be like, see, but other parents go through this. It was almost like this is a completely different situation because of what they did.
Yeah.
And how they did it. So overall, what would you rate the documentary out of 10?
6.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Honestly, I thought part of it was drawn out.
I thought it was very
I think
drawn
it could have been wrapped
like an
in
hour and a half.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting to hear from some of the people in it. It was shot beautifully. It was like
I was
done
gonna
well.
say, yeah, the visuals were really
Mhm.
I don't know, I liked them, but
And I was happy that it was drawing more attention to the situation and just to the overall problem of family vlogging. That's what I found like most valuable about it because people are still doing it. Like thousands of people are still doing it.
Yep.
There's still no protections. Well, I mean, we're getting some practice or some progress in some states, but it's like nowhere near where it should be.
no. And which, by the way, I know people are either going to ask or know about this who have followed the story, but Huxley is with another family.
We think. Yeah. It's not like it seems that way.
Well, he is with another family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. We don't know for sure. But they don't have his name out there, which is good. Like
True.
Whoever adopted him, and we're not going to like link their profile. Please don't go to it. Whoever has him now, it's surprising that they're like, the profile's even public.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely,
it honestly kind of annoys me.
It really bothers me after everything he's been through that there's still like photos and videos of him out there. Like I saw it. What can you tell from social media? Because we all know social media is so fake, but it looks like, and we know from, the police went out there as well and said he's with a good family. From like what I saw, it looked at like one or two things. He looks like he's loved and happy, and that just makes me happy at the end of the day. I wish he wasn't being shared on the internet at all.
I just hope that he's getting the care he deserves and is living a happy as a life as he can. And I hope that what he went through so publicly will affect him as little as possible.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's
that's what I hope for all children that are experienced, whether they were adopted or have special needs or not. Any child who is being broadcast to all these strangers on the internet, I hope the best for them. And we're going to see more and more of them coming forward. We've already seen many coming forward talking about it, and it's normally in a bad light.
It's such a new phenomena that, we're just now starting to see the kids that were growing up online become adults and, their views around it. But I think 10 years from now, it's going to be a whole different ballgame because a lot of kids are going to have fully, matured and become adults after their entire lives were online.
Yep.
And I'm very curious to see the impact that has.
Me too.
So
it's going to be bad.
Yeah. And I wonder what it'll be like 10 years from now. Like, will family vlogging be even a thing? Because it is such a big thing, even now.
Yeah, it's still really big, huh?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Well, because now there's like people on TikTok doing it too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the TikTok thing is crazy. Like, how many kids are on people's TikToks? Okay, so I was just randomly doing some Google searching about revenue.
Oh.
Just randomly. And there's an article about this channel called Kids Diana Show. Their bio on YouTube says, Kids Diana Show is a top-rated kids YouTube channel starring Diana and Roma as they constantly engage in fun and crazy adventures. They have 130 million subscribers.
Oh, yeah, there's like tons of channels like this. Like the Ryan's Toy, which they brought up in the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the biggest YouTuber, I believe, or one of them.
So Ryan's World has 38 million subs. This show has 130 million.
Oh my.
This channel.
And its kids are the stars of it?
Yeah. Now, I wonder, it
What
seems
the
like the show's
hell?
kind of produced like a kid's show. And again, it's hard because there's like kid shows on TV that have kids in them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they have
Less so
protections.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really not as common now.
Well, according to this website, the Kids Diana Show sees an estimated 112 million a year.
It's interesting too how kids' content has changed from when we were younger too.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of you out there heard of Hat Palmer?
No.
Well, I'm sure you guys haven't. I was just asking the audience. Because like I grew up, or like baby songs. Remember like the blanket one? Don't wash my blanket, don't take, no?
No, but that's true that. Don't
I've
fucking
sent it to
wash
you.
it and take it.
But I grew up like loving, I had a VHS of it and I loved it. And so I play it for Holly now because I love the songs and I sing them to her all the time. Hat Palmer. But there's like a diaper song, like a potty training type song. Like, today I took my diapers off. But it has kids in it. And they're like pulling down their diapers and sitting on potties. And there's like a lot of, like now that I've watched it back as an adult, because we pull it up to listen to it, I watch the videos and I'm like, this is fucking wild.
Yeah. And was it originally in good,
Good intent.
good intent?
Yeah, I think probably. It's just,
Right.
it's nice that like as a society, we're making some steps, I guess. Like you won't see that nowadays. Or I guess maybe you would. 'Cause remember I was talking about, probably about this time last year, I was talking about like how I was researching potty training and I was watching some woman's potty training video and she's filming the kid on the toilet.
That's insane. Or filming kids in the
It's like
fucking
one of the
bath.
most popular ones. Yeah.
Filming kids in the bath.
Yeah. Oh, it's so wild. Where is the line too? Because who's the kid that is like so popular right now that does like the boom, boom, and he does like the Costco, the chicken sandwich.
Oh, the Costco guys.
Yeah, yeah. And like the kid is called something. Like they call him the something. The Rizzler. Yeah. And he's like on late night shows, he's a kid. And like people are horrible to him. People fat shame this kid.
That's sad.
That's really sad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's 8 years old.
8. Yeah.
Well, I hope he's getting a nice chunk of change waiting for him when
Yeah.
he turns 18.
Hopefully, but you never know. I mean, we saw what Honey Boo Boo's mom did to her. Well, guys, that is going to be it from us today. Janelle's, you okay?
I was choking for a second. I'm fine.
Okay, good.
I'm back.
Let me know if you need the Heimlich.
Manure, as I said once.
You did say that once.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Let us know your thoughts down
Yeah,
below.
I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. And I'm sure a lot of you have followed this story for a long time.
Yeah.
Will you be checking out the documentary? Did you check it out? What do you think of it? Let us know. We want to hear from you. That's going to be it for the sesh today.
We'll see you in the next session. Until then,
Keep it fresh.
keep it fresh.